Well, here we are again. Hey everybody, what's going on? My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. This is episode 114 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. Tony and I are watching the 1978 sequel to one of the greatest films of all time, Jaws 2. Ladies and gentlemen, it is, I was gonna say the day, but I don't have time. We are live! Now I have time. It's Monday, June the 21st, 2021. Summer is officially kicked off, and why not kick off the summer with Jaws 2? Another troubled production. Roy Scheider didn't get along with the director. There was some fisticuffs, but it was made, and although this is far inferior to the original, it is, and maybe that's also because the other two films in the franchise are dog shit. But this is a pretty good sequel. Like, in terms of a sequel, it's pretty good. What do you think, Tony? Tony, how you doing?
Good, man. Good. It's one of my favorite sequels. I think I did that last week. Someone asked me what are my top 5 favorite sequels, and Jaws 2 is in my top 5 favorite sequels. I think. Yeah. Look, I mean, come on. I mean, you're never going to match what Spielberg did in the first film. I mean, you're talking about one of, the greatest films ever made in Jaws. It's arguably, it's a top 10er for sure when you're just sitting down talking about movies as a whole genre, not just horror, but just the whole genre itself. Everything that Spielberg put into that movie, the first one, it's like, you're not going to come close. But having said that, what I love about Jaws 2 is the tonality. It feels like it's just a continuation, like nothing. It feels almost like it's like extra footage that Spielberg shot and they made a second movie out of it, and that's hard to do, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times when a sequel comes in, you don't get that same tone. It doesn't have that same feel to it. But I kind of cheated and watched Jaws and Jaws 2 over the weekend just to kind of refresh myself. And I was like, damn, like they did a really good job of matching the cinematic style that Spielberg brought to the first film, even down to like the tone, like the color tones of the movies. And there was a moment when we first see the shark when he's arriving at Amity, and you get that faint she, whatever.
They? I don't know. They. I mean, did you just assume the shark's gender, Tony?
Gosh, pronouns, whatever. Anyways, when the fish arrived at Amity, and you see the boat, start to turn a little bit, you get the faint, John Williams song, and then you see the silhouette of the shark through the water. Like that whole scene is really cool. And I was like, man, because then it reminded me of, you remember when the two guys in Jaws took the meat and they threw it out, and the whole thing collapses. Yep. Actually, I love that scene. Even to this day, I know the guy doesn't get attacked by the shark.
No, it's a great scene.
Spielberg made that scene so well, in the suspense of that, and you don't see the shark, you just see the part of the dock.
Part of the dock was used. That's right.
But just if you look at it, like the tone, like the color tones and everything, it's like, damn, like they really did again, I heard the stories about the director and Roy, having a few rounds there during the production. But having said all that, they did a really good job of matching that tone and the feels of, the original Jaws. And like I said, I feel like this is just extra fucking footage that Spielberg shot that they used for a fucking sequel. And that's really hard to do. Yeah,
there isn't anything you've said that I don't agree with. This is, I used to rent this probably as often as I would rent Jaws. Actually, although I loved Jaws, the original, as a kid growing up, I think as a kid, I think Jaws 2 was more kid-friendly, I think, because...
Well, definitely boy-friendly, because a lot of pretty girls in this movie.
A lot of pretty girls, that is true. But I just mean in the sense of it's more of that action, it's got more of that, it's not... the subject matter is more, it's more like a action adventure horror movie as opposed to a thriller drama, right? And so I think it's kind of more, there's a lot more action, there's a lot more going on, I think, in part 2, and but you're right, it feels like an organic sequel. It feels they shot again at Martha's Vineyard, and of course it's not that much later, right? It's only 4 years later. So it does have, it does. It feels like and an organic progression of the story. And yes, it's far inferior to the original because I think the original is a smarter film. I think it's much more mature. It's much more nuanced in the world of filmmaking prowess and filmmaking and character development and story and structure and all that kind of stuff. Jaws wins. I mean, it's a better film in the world of filmmaking. You know what I mean? But Jaws 2 is very entertaining, when it comes to, and there's some really cool, like the score's really good. There's some nice, like genuine moments in that movie that I absolutely love that are really cool. Like when Tina Wilcox is on the boat and her boyfriend is fucking swim.
Yeah.
And then there's like this I think it's an overhead shot we'll see tonight where you see the shark go under the boat, under Tina to go and get him on the other side. Fucking great shot, dude. I love the shot when Roy Scheider at the end is hitting that telephone line or whatever, and then there's that shot.
Power line.
Yeah, right, the power line. And you see the shot, it's very brief, but it's a shot over Scheider's shoulder, and you see Scheider in the foreground, his back, and then you see the shark like making waves coming up on him. It's great shot. It's a great fucking shot. I love the shot that you were talking about at the beginning of the movie when Chief Brody is late getting to the opening of this new hotel or whatever it is, and downtown. It's a great tune, by the way. And then the shark fin comes out of the water. I always remember thinking to myself, that's a huge fin. The fin is gigantic. Who doesn't love the moment when he's chasing the water skier and you get that POV shot in the water? There's some really nice filmmaking in this movie too, right? But when it comes to sort of the story and the character development, it's more horror movie, 1.5 dimensional than it is sort of the drama, real deep-seated character stuff that you get in Jaws. But hey, compared to Jaws 3 and 4 and compared to most sequels, it's pretty good.
My nephews killed me with that about a month and a half ago.
Oh, terrible.
All the movies I have in my collection, you pick Jaws 3 and 4. Okay. No. But no, I mean, it's, as far as this movie goes, like you were saying, just the beginning there when we first see the shark and how they used the same tricks from the first film in certain moments where you didn't need to see the full shark to create suspense. They did that very well in this movie, and it works, and then obviously the sequel or 3 and 4, it just becomes a total shit show.
That's
so
right. And of course,
I'm ready to get into it.
There's all that hoopla behind the scenes where Scheider didn't want to return, but he was under contract with Universal.
Right? Yeah.
And he had such a horrible time. I'm glad he did too. And I'll tell you though, the sign of a professional, you would never know he had the issues he had on that set. It's not like he was phoning it in ever. Like he was totally, at least, I mean, I didn't get that sense. He seemed like the same guy, the same character, the same level of commitment to the role that you had in the original. Now it's a different story, so his emotion and his performance is going to be different to the different things that are happening around him. But I never felt like, oh, this is Bruce Willis, phoning it in. You know what I mean? Like this totally feels like I never would have guessed that he.
No, I mean it's Chief Brody. I don't feel that he's not
100%.
Something's off.
He never would have guessed that he actually almost came to blows with the director and they hated each other. I never would have guessed that.
What's her name? What's her name that plays his wife in the
Lorraine Gary?
Lorraine. I'm sure having her there was a good anchor.
Gary. I think so too.
Was a good anchor for him. Yeah. You know what I mean? During the filming process, because their on-screen chemistry, I like their I always joke around and say if I do decide to say I do to someone, which is a big if, it's a big if I do, that's the kind of woman I want, where it's like, you want to get drunk and fool around? Yep. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I liked their chemistry like that. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
I really believe that they were a husband and wife.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that helped him in the filmmaking process to have her there.
I think, you know what? I never thought about it, but I think you are right. I think that it's a good support. It's a familiar face and person from the original film, so there is that. There's also that they went through, although her character was not out on the sea in the latter half of the movie, she certainly was there for a lot of the Martha
Vineyard stuff.
Yeah, Vineyard stuff and all that kind of. So, I mean, she knows that Jaws was a troubled production too, and there wasn't the toxicity necessarily, but certainly, it's an anchor. It's an anchor for him, and
she has a bigger role in this one. I mean, minus
she does.
Oh no, she does go out. She does go out to sea.
She goes out to sea and then stays with Tina. And
stays with Tina. That's right. So she has it. So I think that probably helped a lot. I'm guessing. Right. There's no facts behind it, but when you watch their on-screen chemistry together, they have really, as a husband and wife team, they're really good. Yeah,
I agree. Oh, there we go. Just make myself a little warmer. I look very white. There we go. That's better. Actually, look a little healthier now. Okay, so let's let's do this. Let's fucking do this.
All right.
And so
we're at the Universal and MCA company, guys, the old school one.
Yeah, the old school. We are paused. It says Universal and MCA company. That is where we are paused. Whether you're watching it on Blu-ray, DVD. Has this been released on 4K yet? Maybe it has. VHS, the wood-burning disc. 1978. Here we go. 5, 4, 3,
Laserdisc.
2, 1.
Beta.
Wait. Yeah, beta. Okay, hang on. Let's try that again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. All right, we're
old
watching Jaws.
Did I tell you about was it Latin? No, it was 2 years ago. It was pre-COVID. Up at our big lake here, Lake Lanier, a couple of us went out and they had this Jaws night, and we got to sit in floating rafts on the lake, and they had a big screen. We watched Jaws on the water. So we were on
that's
this,
amazing.
Tubes type thing. And I'll tell you what, when you're on the water, even though you're watching a movie and a shark is obviously not going to be in a lake, but
right.
It's the psychology of it all.
I got you.
You get a little bit weirded out, and you're doing this. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah.
But if you guys can ever get an opportunity, like in your area, if they ever do that, like a Jaws night on the lake or water, it's so much fun to do.
That'd be awesome.
And they did a double. They did Jaws and Jaws 2, so they did a double feature that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The score in this, I mean, it's not Williams though, right? Who did the score in this?
I don't know if Williams did the score in this or not. I'm not sure. I mean,
but
obviously,
it is good.
Oh yeah, it's a great score. It's a great score. By the way, I'm wearing an It's Me Billy hoodie. This is a quote unquote prototype, but it looks pretty damn good. So we are in the process for all of you that have ordered perks and hoodies and t-shirts and stuff. The t-shirts have been ordered. They just have to be shipped to me so I can make sure all the printing was right. This is a hoodie that I ordered. I always order a prototype first to have it shipped to me to make sure that it's, it looks okay. And it looked great. So I put it on and decided to wear it for the show. So for those of you that did order a hoodie, this is what it will look like. It's Fruit of the Loom, so it's really good quality as well. So that's really good. And then, oh, by the way, you can kind of see it back there. There's I know we're talking Jaws, but let me just get this.
What's left of the orca.
Shout out to Bruce Dale.
And again, little touches like this here that we're seeing of the orca, the mast, kind of,
yes,
over like that, like in this last position that it was in before it sank.
And the director said that they started the movie with sort of calmer music and upbeat and more majestic to sort of, because people expected it to open maybe on an ominous note. They want to give like a false sense of security. I really like it a lot. No, I just want to quickly show you this because it was in the background. This was a poster that Bruce did up for It's Me, Billy. It's really, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's the rocking chair with the lights. You guys can see that? It's the rocking chair with the lights. And yeah, just one of our concept posters that is pretty cool. He had that framed for me, so that was in the background. I just got to find a spot to put it.
I'm only catching the edge of it.
Oh yeah. I'll show you afterwards. And really cool. He's surprised that he came over on Saturday because we were working on the perks, and he's like, "I got a surprise for you," and he showed me this. I'm like, "Oh, dude, that's amazing. That's really cool." So the plan is. we're going to obviously get all of, because I think there's 4 posters. There's the official, the retro, 2 special edition. No, there's 5, and then there's this one, which is a concept. So I'd like to get them all framed in this kind of a frame and put them in my hallway. I think that'd be really cool. But anyway. And of course, some of you have ordered posters as well. Now, on the Indiegogo campaign, we've only have the 2, the official and the retro. But is it possible that the others may become available one day? Maybe, but not at the moment. We have to sort of not bite off more than we can chew. Okay, put that there. Director of photography, Michael Butler.
They got a blue Chevy old school Blazer 79, just very similar color tones as Chief Brody's blue GMC for sale here. And I was looking, I was like, oh man, but the only thing about those, gas guzzler. Like I would totally get it. 'Cause the guy wants like 30 grand for it, and it's in mint condition, and it's up on hydraulics as well too. The only thing it doesn't have is obviously the floodlights and the police lights that or police lights in this case for Brody's. I saw this, I'm like, damn, this looks like Brody's from fucking Jaws 2, except he's driving a GMC and not a Chevy in this one. But same color scheme, exact same color scheme.
Yeah,
but like,
awesome.
the guy was telling me, he's like, dude, I'm gonna tell you ahead of time, if you get it, it's a gas guzzler. Like it just sucks up gas like it's nobody's business. And that, you know, in this day and age, I have no idea where gas prices are gonna end up. But I would love, because see, the cool thing, what he doesn't do in this movie is the back of those come off. They're hard shells, but they come off, and then it's kind of like the back seats are exposed, and you know, like to the, you know, it's like, you ever see American Pie when Stifler and them go to the lake house and the boys are like standing in the back? It's kind of similar to that.
I gotcha. Downtown. Such a great song. When you and
they don't have to pay copyright for it because it's a band performing it.
It's true.
Sort of smart if you want to dodge copyright.
When you're alone. I love that song, actually.
Just act like you've been here the whole time. And how do you want me to do? Just be bored. Just look bored.
I'm telling you and everybody at this table,
like those little things, man. Like that's just like their on screen chemistry is just so.
It's fantastic. Good. Murray Hamilton, of course, who died only about maybe 10 years after this film was made. Great.
Is she still alive? Because I know
Gary,
Richard Dreyfuss is still alive.
Yep. I think she is. Yeah.
Not sure if any of the kids. I'm not sure where all the kids are at nowadays.
I don't know. My favorite quote in this movie, of course, is the when he's in the in front of the all the people, and he's like, "I'm telling you, and I'm telling everybody at this table that's a shark, and I know what a shark looks like because I've seen one up close. And you better do something about this one because I don't intend to go through that hell again." I fucking love that line. It's so great. I memorized it. I was like 10 years old walking around my fucking house. Going, I'm telling you and I'm telling everybody at this table that that's a shark. And I know what a shark looks like because I've seen one up close. And you better do something about this one because I don't intend to go through that hell again. It's like, Dave, you can't say hell. You're 9. Okay? Or whatever. You know, and I used to be fucking into it. It was great. Tina Wilcox.
She's hot. Like I said, this film, they did
a lot
good
of
with
pretty
the
girls
casting
in
of
this
the
movie.
girls in this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of pretty girls in this movie.
But I believe them too as young teenagers. You know what I mean? Yep. Like they play every single one of them in here plays the teenagers very well.
I totally could see the teenagers in this movie, teenagers in a Friday the 13th movie.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you could easily just take all of them and move them right over to do a Friday
100%. You could totally 100%. 100%.
You know, and as much as I don't like the other 2 Jaws films, there's a scene when Mike is, when he's about to go out. Okay, he's gotten up early. He's sneaking out when he's not supposed to, and he's brushing his hair. And I noticed this when I watched it the other day. I was like, damn, you look at his eyes in that scene. He looks like the younger version of the guy they cast to play Mike in Jaws 4. Older. Very similar eyes.
Lance Guest. Lance Guest from Halloween 2.
Yes, that's right. That's
Yeah, a
right.
little bit.
If you look at the eyes of Mike in this film,
Yeah.
and you look at Lance's eyes, especially in that scene when Mike's brushing his hair back, like, damn, they did a really good job. I mean, you don't really see it here. He looks more like Dennis Quaid here.
Here he looks a lot like Dennis Quaid, yeah.
But in that one scene when he's fluffing his hair out with that brush, I was like, damn, like that's
like these three look like they should be in a Friday the 13th. Like there's your Shelley, right?
Absolutely.
There's your Shelley. There's the hot guy that's going to get an axe to the face and roll down the fucking stairs in a wheelchair, or not an axe, a machete. And this girl's going to die in bed having sex. This is a Friday the 13th cast. That's what this is.
But when did it come out?
78.
78?
78, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you could have. A few years later.
No, this is when we, what's his name? From Christine.
Here's the guy that.
Not him, but the other dude.
Yeah, that's right.
This guy.
That's right.
Those glasses, though. The Bob glasses.
Yeah. See these two right here? Yeah, they'd be killed. Do any of them get killed? I know Tina's boyfriend gets killed.
Tina's boyfriend gets killed. The girl that helps Sean when the boat's capsized.
Right. I can't get up. Oh, that's a great shot,
trying to save
too.
Sean. Well, she gets Sean up on the boat, but she doesn't get up.
That's right. I think that's it, isn't it?
Well, no, then there's the water skier and
but the girls
up and
Yes, but the actual group of kids.
Well,
I think
the two
those are the only
scuba divers here died at the beginning. I assume they died at the beginning.
Yeah, but I mean the group of kids. I think it's just those two, right?
I believe so. Tina's boyfriend, that girl helping Sean, the guy who comes to try to help them, the helicopter, he gets it. Yeah, I think you're right. I think of the teenagers, it's just those two.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that till we just said that. They could have used maybe one or two more deaths.
I think all of them should have died.
Except for Michael and Sean.
No, Michael and Sean dead. Chief Brody shows up. He just sees a bunch of floating dead bodies in the water.
Goes Rambo on the shark. See, like this scene right here. You know what I mean? Like the mood of this scene.
Yeah, it looks like the original.
You almost feel like this is extra footage that Spielberg shot.
Yeah.
Because it fits the same tone of the first film.
Looks great. Great aesthetic. That's that twilight. This is supposed to be the evening, right? Not the morning. I think this is the evening. Yeah. Now watch the size of this fin. I think you might be a couple seconds ahead of me.
I'll tell you if the fin comes up, when the fin comes up. Now I see the shark.
Okay, I don't see the shark yet. Now I see the shark.
So I'm like a second ahead of you.
Yeah.
Now the fin comes up out of the water.
Hang on, not yet.
The fin is fucking massive.
Here it is. Look at the size of that fin.
Did they use Bruce 2.0 in this one?
I don't know. It's huge.
Love to know which shark did. I mean, I know that there's there's the extra B-roll footage that they captured that we see at times where the shark doesn't look like the same size shark like in Jaws on top of the tank, the cage. And then there's the scene where the shark comes out of the water, almost catching Mike. Nice little callback to the moment with his dad. You see the hydraulic too. Yeah. The mouth of the shark. Yeah.
And also too, I mean,
there's our buddy too, who you know, after this incident of Amity, he decides to leave Amity and go to Haddonfield and open up his dentistry, and
that's it. I'm done with sharks. I'm done being a cop. I'm gonna become a dentist.
Exactly.
That's what he does. You know,
what's his name in Halloween too? His name is Jeff in this. Jeff. They call me Jeff.
I forget what his name is in Halloween too. Or it's not that I forget. I just know him
as the dentist.
I just don't really care what his name is.
Dave, how could you not know this? Dave, you're supposed to know every intricate detail of Halloween. How could you not know this?
There you go, Tony. There's some butt shots for you.
Got nice legs.
There were like there was a dystopian idea for like sort of for this sequel too. Like originally they wanted to do a no, it wasn't Hancock, was it? Because there was a director before the guy, what's his name? Hancock? I want to say John Hancock, but I don't think is it John Hancock? And was he the one that wanted to, because he started this film. He started shooting and then he left. And I think was he the one that wrote it? No, there was another writer. I think there was another writer that wanted to write a film that was very dystopian about sort of it was like the residual effects of the, like the town was, it was kind of like what Carpenter wanted to do with Halloween 4. Oh, Darren said it is John Hancock. John Hancock? That's hilarious. There was, it's kind of like what Carpenter wanted to do with Halloween 4, where Halloween 4 was originally going to be about how, you know, the residual effects, they had banned Halloween. It was sort of like, you know, nobody celebrates anymore. A similar kind of thing was going to happen with Jaws 2, where it was going to be kind of like the economy was in shit. Nobody's coming to the town. You know, they don't celebrate that anymore. It would make total sense. And it was going to be a very darker sort of like in theme and in tone film. And, you know, I always find those things interesting. I mean, as a kid, that would have been boring as fuck. But as a 42-year-old man who's matured as a viewer and as a lover of film, and I like, you know, I like more mature things now in my life, that's kind of interesting to me. I'm kind of like, wow, now, obviously you have to have a shark movie in there somewhere and people got to die.
You know what's crazy that you say that? Because when you think about the politics that were going on in the first film and how the mayor and all them were basically keeping they were doing everything to keep the beaches open while, you know, Hooper and the sheriff are like, hey man, we need to shut this down and get this, you know, problem taken care of.
That's it.
So this is, like the backlash from that, and what, you know, that would have been interesting to see a movie of Jaws 2 like that and how it affected the town afterwards.
Yep, I agree. Would have been cool. And, you know, and you mix that in obviously with a shark movie, you know, with the shark and killing and stuff. But
and you can still have the kids there, you know. I mean, you know, these are the kids that live on the live on the island.
This is definitely more marketable for
teenagers. Go to the movie.
This is a teen. Yeah, this is has a very heavy teenager demographic summer blockbuster. Let's target the teens. Jaws wasn't necessarily doing that. Jaws was a different, you know, breed.
This is literally almost Jaws 2 is like the perfect drive-in movie. Yeah. It really is. Mm-hmm. It's a fun movie to go to the drive-in or wherever, you know, and just hang out with your friends and watch Jaws.
That's it.
Whereas Jaws 1 that's a movie. That's, you know, that's filmmaking 101.
Hey, Reese Wilson is in the chat. Reese, my man, it's got to be like 9 o'clock in the morning there where you are. Reese, by the way, I was going to message you after the show, but since you're here, Reese, are you still good for next week? Because
Reese is joining us, folks.
Reese is joining us. Reese obviously was somebody, a huge supporter of our Indiegogo campaign for It's Moi, Billy. And it's Moi, Billy. That's the French version, by the way. It's the... it's moi, William. And yes, next week, moi, Reese, how does well, I won't say anything yet because I don't want the audience to know what we're watching, but I will message you afterwards. But yes, we're totally down. I'll message you afterwards to let you know what one that we think we should do. But that'd be cool. And of course, Reese picked up the Two Dudes perk, so he will be on next week. And all of you who did pick up the Two Dudes perk, we're going down the list. So we appreciate your patience. And I haven't forgotten about those who also will be a guest on McRae Live. Haven't forgotten about you. We appreciate your patience. This is a process as we roll these things out right now. And there's what your It's Me Billy hoodies are going to look like. It's got gray inside there. Pretty cool. Really nice. Really, like, I'm actually impressed with the material.
Who made it?
Fruit of the Loom. It's Fruit of the Loom.
No, I mean, but who, like, company made it?
Oh, we're using Vistaprint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And we weren't sure, like, there were several vendors we had that we were going to use, like actual, you know, clothing vendors. But some of the pricing is really, you know, it can be, you know, it's not cheap. And there were quite a few vendors we were looking at. And then since we were getting a lot of our posters and signages done through Vistaprint, I noticed they also do clothing. And I'm like, you know, sometimes when you're a jack of all trades, like they're primarily sort of signage, posters, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? And they have some clothing, and we were like, well, I'll try. So I ordered a couple of shirts and a couple of whatever. And I was like, oh, these are actually really good. Like they're actually, wow, they're not cheap. They're actually really good quality. So I was like, all right, well, and it's actually their prices are really good. So we're like, well, hey, why not? So yeah, I think people will be impressed.
I've done that before. What that guy is doing with the it's not parasailing. I can't remember what it is. The proper name for it. I call it parasailing, but it's not. At least I don't think it is.
Paragliding
And
no,
paragliding, I think. I don't know. I did it one time and that was it. I did one and done.
That one when you're like up in the air. And
and you're going down. Like, dude, when I went down. I've never had the wind knocked out of me so hard than that. I thought my ribs were certainly shattered because of how hard I hit. And let me tell you something. You don't think it, but when you hit the water, it's like hitting concrete. It fucking hurts.
Yes.
And that was one time and only time I ever did it. I'll never do it again.
I love this scene, of course, with the shark chases the water skier. It's a good scene.
It is.
I love the
paragliding. Okay. So thank you, Caleb.
Do you remember when they find the that's a beautiful shot. Looks I wish I was there. Again,
right now. They did a really good job with the cinematography on this.
I wish
it really did.
Now. I just want to fucking.
Of course, I just would not want to live where this woman's living because she's literally right there on the ocean. Like if the water ever comes up on a storm, you're getting flooded. Like that's a little too close to the ocean for me.
I'd rather be up on the hill.
Yeah, a little higher up, a little elevation.
A little higher elevation. But I
mean,
love...
they don't have too much flooding in Martha's Vineyard and Cape Cod. Because we used to go up there a lot. My family has cottages up there. Yeah. Especially on the Cape. And not on Martha's Vineyard. That's more like, that's money. Right. But Cape Cod, which is all like right there in the same vicinity of each other. Right. You don't really get too much. They had a hurricane there not too long. Actually, the hurricane, I don't know how many years ago it was that it wiped out the I
love this one.
Hotel.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. It's
such a cool shot. You just see
really
the
is.
And it's like that's a fake shark.
I'd want to do
like it looks fun. Like what great, like it just looks so good.
Of course, that shark is hauling ass. I don't know if a shark can actually go that fast. I could be wrong. I don't know the miles per hour on a shark at top speed, but
could swim faster than me.
They seem to be hauling ass out there.
She's apparently, I don't know if the close-ups are of her, but certainly...
especially a great white, the size that they're trying to convince me of the shark in this. Not that. That's an extra footage one. Yeah,
this water skier is a champion water skier. She's not an actor. I love the scene when they find the chewed up killer whale on the beach, and Chief Brody is trying to convince the expert looking at the body of the killer whale. He's like, well, this is it kind of looks like a shark bite. Like, I kind of have some experience with great white sharks, and she's like, What makes you think that there's one in these waters? And I would have loved to be like, what makes me think, lady, I fucking shot a great white shark. I shot a fucking air tap, blew up. What do you mean? What do I think there's? I have every reason to believe there's one in these waters. Anyway, news didn't travel far, apparently, with the events of Jaws 1. Yeah, this is so great. And I love how it's calm and you don't see anything. The only thing, I will say this, and I think you're going to see it here, that I wasn't crazy on, I'm still not crazy on now, is this POV shot like this here where like we're on the shark's nose. Like I'm not, yeah.
It's all right. It's creative. It's a gutsy call.
It's creative. I don't know if I would have done it. But this is cool shit. Seeing how massive he is. And then she picks up
the size of Bruce.
Yeah, he is.
He's
fucking huge. Why did she pour gasoline all over herself? I know what she tried to pick it up and then I
think she was trying to kill the shark and instead she's gonna blow herself up.
There's a little bit of a jump cut there. Yeah. Oh no, that would suck. God, that would suck.
Yes, it would.
She knows. The old lady knows.
I know. The old lady always knows.
This was shot in Florida, not Martha's Vineyard. This was all the beach stuff I think I read was shot in Florida.
Except for what the lands, the homes, some of the downtown areas.
Oh yeah. That's actually back
Martha's
in
Vineyard.
Yeah. Look at that walkie-talkie. I want one.
Well, wherever they chose, they did a good job of matching it up to make it look like Martha's or Amity. Because I wouldn't have known. Because all the mainland stuff, I know that is Martha's Vineyard because I've seen all those locations.
Yes. Yeah. I love how they have that light as if it's supposed to be the sun. It's great.
Now he's gonna have
totally believe
that deep thought of I know who did it.
Yep, he's going, he's looking. Chief Brody, can we go now? Chief Brody, that's what she says here in a sec. Yeah, can we go, please? Yes, thank you, Tina. I know who did this. It's that stare. It's that long stare. Look at that cross dissolve. Yes.
1,000-yard stare. Yeah, the 1970s cross dissolve. Great. You don't see that too often.
No.
Anymore in films.
See, Hendricks here is he's bored. He's just wishing he could move to Haddonfield and become a dentist.
Exactly. He's sitting there deep thought thinking, I just need to go and open up my dentistry in the Midwest.
Yes. Yeah, he wants to get the fuck out
I don't know
of
where yet, but somewhere in the Midwest.
Exactly. Maybe Illinois.
Maybe Illinois. Maybe Springwood, Ohio. Is that where Nightmare is, right? Springwood, Ohio?
I think it's Ohio, yeah. Springwood, yeah. I think so.
Maybe New Jersey. That's where Camp Crystal Lake is.
Yep. This is foreshadowing right here. Here's your foreshadowing, kids. They bring up the power line.
Power line, yeah.
Cable Junction in this movie was fake, by the way. It was a set, a set floating on the water that they had to anchor.
It's a pretty big set, man. If that's a fake.
Yeah, it's cool. I think the shark should have leaped out of the water here, ate them both.
That'd have been great.
Horrific, gory.
Well, then Jeff wouldn't have been able to move to Haddonfield and change his name and become a dentist.
That is true. He changed his name because Scheider wouldn't stop bothering him. Because Scheider wanted to be a dentist too. And Jeff didn't want him. He didn't want to steal his thunder. So
good coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Try a donut. He died of cancer, right? Roy Schneider? Or was that what's his name that died of cancer?
He did die. I think it was lung cancer. I think you're right. Cheerios. That was a big deal when we were kids, man.
Oh yeah.
And it was
Cheerios, and you load it up with sugar.
Yeah, that's right. You'd sprinkle sugar on it. Yeah.
Sprinkle shit. Dude, we
used to do that though. Yeah, we used to actually
smudge at the bottom of it.
Yes, I remember that. At the bottom of the milk bowl, there'd be like this gooey spot of sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a big deal if your parents bought like Honey Nut Cheerios or something. It was like, wow, holy shit, we're getting spoiled. Or honeycombs. Yeah, like you would never know that he doesn't want to be there. As an actor, you know what I mean?
As an actor, no, he totally.
Of course, he was paid. He was paid handsomely to come back, and they allowed him to get he actually had 2 more films left on his contract. He had to do Jaws 2, and there's supposed to be another one he had to do, but he apparently, allegedly, he bitched and complained so much, and that it was such a horrific experience that they Universal basically counted Jaws 2 as 2 movies. And allowed him to get out of his contract. So, I mean, wasn't all that bad. That lighthouse was built for the movie, too. That's what I read.
Yeah, because you know why? I remember, now that you say that, we were looking for that when we were kind of scouting around the Martha's Vineyard area in my friend's boat. And I was like, man, where is the freaking lighthouse in Jaws 2? And I couldn't find it. Mm-hmm. Now that I know that it was a set, and that explains it. In reality, the killer whale would totally destroy a great white. I mean, destroy a great. There's video clips. I love looking at those video clips. Not many, but when those two have a confrontation, there's one where this killer whale just fucking tosses this great white out of the fucking water like it was nothing.
Yeah, killer
whales they're no joke, man.
No, they're not. They're not. They can. I mean, a great white can cause some problems, sure, but a killer whale is definitely, and that's sort of the point of this. Now, I understand that, you know, it's a jab to an earlier 70s film called Orca, which attacked a great white and whatever, but it also works for the narrative because usually orcas are problems for great whites.
Big time problems.
And the fact that this is an orca that got the shit kicked out of him by a great white is letting the audience know, and of course, you know, our characters know, this is a great white, not, you know, this is different. Okay, like this is not your ordinary friendly neighborhood great white. Okay, if an orca
in reality,
is
like
devastated,
I said, all the videos that you've seen online with great whites and orca, I mean, great whites, they're just getting tossed. I mean, it's one. Killer whales are full grown now, and we're not talking
and are much bigger.
Much bigger. You know what I mean? And yeah, they know, like, killer whales, man, they're vicious fuckers. Like they will.
Why they're called killer whales.
Yeah, there was just one video. I felt bad for this fucking seal, but these two killer whales were just tossing this fucking seal back and forth, and I'm like, this poor little guy is just like, talk about having a bad day. This seal's having a bad day. And same thing. Dates. You know, the videos that I've seen with the killer whales attacking the great white sharks. It's fun to watch, but it's not really much of a challenge.
Yeah, but this is certainly, and again, this goes back to what I was.
Killer whales, or they travel in pods. You know, that also, you know, it gives them that advantage.
But this is important. Like, these are the layers that you'll often see in film, right? Where it kind of goes back to what I was talking about on my show on Friday, cinematic language. And, you know, there's many different types of cinematic language and ways you can use it. You can use it through character performances, symbolism, how you set up a shot, all that kind of stuff, and foreshadowing. But this is not just a dead whale on the beach that the shark killed. It's supposed to signify, again, there's that symbolism there that, hang on a sec, if this is, it would be like seeing, this is a dumb example, but it's like seeing Mike Tyson in his prime had the shit kicked out of him. You're like, holy shit, who's the guy that kicked the shit out of Mike Tyson? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck
James
are we?
Buster Douglas.
To be fair, Tyson did not train for that. He was doing cocaine the night before.
You kidding me? He was freaking drunk during that fight.
I know. But no, I get your point.
High. I'm not drunk. He was high.
But it's that thing where it's like, because it is known, that killer whales usually are major problems. They can kill great white sharks, but this is a killer whale that got killed. But what the hell killed this? What the hell killed this killer whale? What the fuck is this? Another killer whale? It has to be another killer whale. And then of course they measure the bite radius and they're like, no, this doesn't match another killer whale. And he knows, right? Now it's not being overtly explained to the audience the way I am explaining it to you right now. It's doing it through foreshadowing and symbolism.
Do you think this was a wink and a nod to Chrissy from the original Jaws with that buoy out there, where she gets killed in the first film, the very opening?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I didn't know if it was a wink and a nod.
I don't think so. I think it's,
Sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to ask you that while the scene was happening.
Yeah, no worries. Totally understand. And again, it's not there are other way better examples of what I'm talking about than that. But that is something that, for those of you that may not know, Tony brings up a good point that the killer whales usually, it's not that there haven't been examples of, big great white sharks having, being problems for killer whales, but generally speaking,
baby killer whales.
Yeah, exactly. But generally speaking, a killer whale will kill a great white shark. So when you see a killer whale on the beach that has the bite radius of a great white, it's like, oh my God, what kind of fucking great white shark are we doing? And it's an adult. Well, I don't know. Did they say it was an adult killer whale? I can't remember. Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't full grown. Still,
it's a big ass shark.
It's a big ass. Yeah. It's like, well, what are we dealing with here, right?
Here comes your.
No, it's not here.
Oh no, it's not here. It's when the film gets developed. That's right.
Yeah, and he brings it over. But Murray Hamilton plays. He plays this role.
He plays the politician so well.
Such a bureaucratic dickhead. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was great to see these characters back again. That's that link. That's that connection to the original. You know. And it's an extension of their relationship. Like you feel that they are. You know, that they, it feels really organic. Like they're I believe that this is that, you know, we see them once again, you know, we see the mayor once again concerned about the beach. Right. Exactly.
You know, now that you mention it, this definitely looks more like Florida than it does the coast of Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, all the beach stuff I read was
because the water's a little more blue. I got to tell you, because the Atlantic near where I grew up is more brown. Yeah, very brown.
Yeah, this is Florida for sure. I love how that doesn't look.
This was a good jump scare.
It was. It doesn't even look that far out there, and then he's like up to his waist when he's going out there. You know. I should just get a truck like this, just drive it around. And I totally go all meta. Like I believe I'm Roy Scheider. I start dressing like him from this movie. I become him. There are people that are like that who suffer from delusions and shit. There are people that know I am.
Hans Gruber, aren't we past the shark versus whale thing yet? Nope, we're going to spend the next hour and 20 minutes rest of this movie talking about sharks versus whale. How about that?
Yes. Yeah, the next 90 minutes is going to be all about sharks versus whales. Yeah.
I thought he didn't like the water.
He doesn't. Well, he doesn't.
It called? Drowning.
Yeah, exactly.
Drowning.
He doesn't. But his experience in the original, of course, you know, kind of forced himself to, you know, be semi-comfortable with it. I never got the sense that in Jaws 2 he was fully comfortable with it. I think he's just, and who's to say that he's ever been in the water since, right? You know, there's that line at the end of the first film when Richard Dreyfuss says, "I thought you hated the water." And he says something like, or no, he says, "I used to hate the water." And Richard Dreyfuss is like,
can't imagine why.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I couldn't have imagined why. And so I never got the sense that he's all of a sudden like he gets back from that experience and he just loves the water now. I think he's always been very cautious of it, but he can do this. He can actually walk out and do this because of his character development in the first movie. This is the progression of his character. We see this and we don't need to be told this verbatim. We get it. Yeah, I get why he's a little cautious. He looks cautious. Sure. But he goes out there, but he has enough courage that he can go out there and at least do that. And then, of course, we see what happens. I guess that's the body of the woman that was driving the boat. That's what I always thought. Great effect. Charred. Yeah, it's good shit. I can see being like a 15, 16-year-old in 1978, going to the theater and loving this movie.
Oh, yeah. Or driving.
Or driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I never understood what he was doing there. Gun.
Cyanide on the.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The wax covers it.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's poison.
Cyanide on
He's poisoning the bullets.
For the shark, yeah.
Right. He's poisoning the bullets. I get you. Wow, he's fucking.
It's a MacGyver way of doing it.
It's MacGyver. I get what he's doing now. Look at his chest out there and everything. Hey, I'm moving to Haddonfield to become a dentist.
Good, get the hell out of here. You're annoying.
Good, get out of here.
Move
Get
along,
out of
Jeff.
here. Move to Haddonfield and become a dentist.
You nosy fuck.
That's it. So that's what I'm talking about. Jaws 2. Love how he turns on the light. I'd be like, turn the fucking light off. Stop being nosy, you piece of shit. It's my fucking office.
I know, right?
He punches him in the face. He starts beating the shit out of him.
Man, going in your boss's office like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy shit. This is when he learns that I think he goes from here over to the dark room lab.
No, they're gonna develop it now with the camera.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. No, they see it here. It's a big underwater camera. I bet you they're not that big anymore.
Are they playing Pong?
It might be.
Possibly.
It might be Pong there.
No, never mind. Well, yeah, it sort of looks like Pong. I can't
some
tell.
variation of it. Just looks like
that lasted like a tenth of a second.
They're definitely playing like Atari or something.
That's like the beginning stages of video gaming.
Yep.
Well, that would be right. 78.
Hits his head on the lamp.
Beginnings.
I think he hit his head on a lamp in the first movie too, I think. Why would you hang that right there? It's so low. I think she should have hit her head on it. It falls, crushes her, she dies. Yeah. There's a line in this movie, it's already passed, when the woman that's the expert who's examining the killer whale is like, sharks don't take things personally, Mr. Brody. And then he just looks off out into the water. And now I laugh because I'm like, the subtitle of Jaws 4 is, this time it's personal.
This time it's personal.
Yeah, a shark, a predator, a natural instinctual predator is making it personal. The shark has objective awareness and is intelligent enough to know that that lady is the wife of the husband that murdered my great grandfather. It's like,
needless to say, I don't think we'll be doing Jaws 3 or 4 anytime soon.
No, that was so stupid. This time it's personal. Yeah. The shark
I
consciously
said this a million
knows.
times. If you really want to go back to this franchise, the only way to go back is the 1916 story. Make it a period piece. Tell that story exactly how it went down off the coast of New Jersey. Do not do anything related to, the Brodies or anything like that. Because there's a lot of interesting things. Hello, Tushies from the 70s.
There they are.
There they are. Sorry, I was just distracted.
Tushies from
I'm
the
easily
70s.
distracted when I see the Tushies and the bikinis and
Tushies from the 70s. And there you are on the beach eating a hot dog going back and forth.
Yeah.
Do you want to
But that story from 1916, it's a great story.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you're gonna go back to this franchise, that's the story you tell. Don't go over the top with it. Don't CGI the shark. Go back to the basics and tell a good story, because that story really tells itself, and everything that happened surrounding the events in that week and a half, however long it was. Because back then in 1916, this is pre oceanography and the studies of shark. They didn't even think shark teeth could penetrate through skin. They thought it was soft.
Yeah.
So that's why they didn't think that the initial attacks that were happening, they didn't think they were shark related.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of interesting things that they could play with in their narrative and telling their story.
Yeah, I
if
agree.
they were to go back to the Jaws well again, and that would be the story to tell.
And you want to know something too, that I don't think a lot of people take this into consideration. Now, listen, I get it's a movie, and I get you can you can dramatize and you can certainly make it scary and, effective for the audience. But back in 1973 or 4, when Peter Benchley's book came out, it's not that we didn't know anything about sharks, but we knew less about sharks then. They were much more feared, much more very scary because they were very unknown. And, sharks were scary back then. Like a lot of things that were very scary that were relatively unknown back 40, 50, years ago, whatever, right? That aren't so scary anymore. Not that sharks aren't scary, but there's a lot of protection going on. There's a lot of protection going on with great white sharks now. We see a lot of these animals, these endangered animals, as beautiful and worthy of protecting and all this kind of stuff. So it almost is like you've got to, it's like that scene in Harry and the Hendersons. I know this is a weird example where, forget the dad's name, but Mr. Henderson, his dad wanted what's his face? Fuck the actor. John Lithgow.
Oh, John Lithgow.
Yeah, wanted him to draw the Bigfoot as a scary monster, right? Very scary and big teeth and rah. And because, Lithgow had this experience with Harry, it's like, but he's not like that. Like he's an endangered. I get, what I mean? It's a bit of a bad example, but the point I'm making is that we know, not that sharks aren't scary and not that great whites don't attack people now, they still do, but you kind of have to almost go overly sensational to make, I don't know. I just don't think sharks are as scary today as they were 50 years ago. You know what I mean? And therefore that's why you have to almost over sensationalize with movies like The Meg. I mean, even The Meg, the megalodon in The Meg is 20 times bigger than what a megalodon really was. You know what I mean? Or you have to strike a sort of, I don't know. It's I guess it's just the idea of killing a shark in such a inhumane way, right? Like a smile, you son of a, it's cool for the movie because we can watch it for its time period and it's cool. And it's a shark that's attacking you. And I get it. I mean, look, I don't want all the bears or all the sharks or all, whatever to die either. But if a bear is going to attack me and if a shark's going to attack me, I'm going to fight for my life. That means I have to poke the fucking bear's eye out. I mean, yes, you are going to fight for your life. But I just think I think it's something we have to remember, that we are desensitized now a lot because of all these shows and these ocean shows and National Geographic, and we understand more about sharks and they're an endangered species now. And so I just don't.
It's why I have a pure talk about hating something. I have a pure hatred for SeaWorld. Like I don't support it. I don't support anyone who goes and supports it, because those animals, those whales, just imagine, okay, we're in our little bedroom here and this is all the space that you're going to get. And not only that, you're a whatever ton whale being fed almost next to nothing in food. Okay. And you have to do tricks, and not only that, from people who are not educated, and have degrees in this stuff. These are high school graduates and they get training videos and they go in and, teach these freaking orcas to do tricks and shit. And it's like, oh no.
And
I'm very against
dude says
SeaWorld.
The shark in the Meg was actually pretty accurate in terms of size. No, it wasn't. When you look up what megalodons are huge, but when you look up the size of what it was in the Meg, they, again, for sensationalism, for the sake of entertainment, they went a little bigger, okay?
Over the top.
Just a little over the top. Like, look at what a megalodon, like the jaws of a megalodon, and then look at the Meg in the Meg. You know what I mean? It's like the size of fucking, Anyway, that being said, I think it's basically, I guess what I'm trying to say, it's a roundabout way of saying that sharks are a protected species now, and the mystique of sharks is not what it is now as what it was when Jaws came out. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, right? So I think that's why to do a serious movie like Jaws, where the shark is the villain, you know what I mean? Like a distinct villain, right? Yeah. I think that's part of the problem. Do you know what I mean? There's we don't see, They're trying to change the way people look at sharks.
And I love that. I totally get what you're talking about. I've seen those episodes on Shark Week and Discovery Channel. And the more, we're understanding, like, first of all, when we're in the ocean and you're surfing and look, if you're a surfer, mad respect, it's definitely a great sport, but keep in mind, you're putting yourself out, you're in their territory. You know what I mean? Like, and so for them, it's just, they're acting on their instincts when the rare occasions that they do attack a human, and it's not like I blame the shark. It's you're putting yourself in jeopardy and in harm's way.
Right.
That's the chance you got to take as a surfer.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they should outlaw surfing or anything like that, but surfers, I think surfers know they are taking that type of risk.
Yeah.
That they're putting themselves out there. They understand that risk. And, it's like, again, because you're in their territory. Same thing with scuba divers. When you're going down there, you're going into their territory.
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you, when you were talking about the Sasquatch thing or Bigfoot movie, have you seen the Bobcat Goldwill, whatever his last name is?
Bobcat Goldwaite or Waith or whatever his name is? No, I haven't seen. I haven't seen that.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch that.
Is it
Willow
good?
Creek. We gotta watch that on here one night. It's it's a very interesting spin on Bigfoot. It really is. It's got a bit of a Blair Witch vibe to it, but I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. I thought it was gonna be lame, but I enjoyed the twist and how he's presenting what Bigfoot could be like. Definitely different. It's definitely not Harry and the Hendersons. I can tell you that much.
Okay. Yeah, I love Harry and the Hendersons. Obviously I was a kid when it came out, but it's a cute movie. A lot of nostalgia there for me.
Well, how does he say his last name? Bobcat what?
Goldwaite or Goldwaite or something?
I always fuck it up.
That's all I know. Obviously doesn't really sound like that, but this is he's just been fired. Come on down to the oh no, he hasn't been fired yet. Has he been fired yet? No, not yet. Not yet. Just about. This is when the guy he's like, fucking come down to my fucking lab right now. You're gonna want to see something. You know what I mean? And I love I love this scene. I would have shot this scene the same way, the same amount of tension. You turn off all the lights. You know this because you've been in a lot of,
that's what one of my bathrooms look like.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's my homemade dark room.
Yeah.
I have a dark room. Yeah, it's homemade.
Yeah, but this is what they look like. You turn on the lights and you develop film this way. There's certain type of light, obviously.
I got all that shit. That's how I developed my black and whites. Not my color, just black and whites.
Yeah. My grandfather used to have a dark room. I love this though.
Yeah, color just takes a little bit more mixture. You got to have the right components in the mixtures as well too. You really got to know your shit to develop color film. Black and white's easy.
Right.
Anybody can do it. Anybody can learn black. You just got to have the tools and the room to do it in.
It's funny. I'm watching this and the light is kind of yellow. I remember on VHS, was it red? I thought
you can have red or you can have a yellow that you can go either way with it.
I wonder if they in this release, I wonder if they've changed the lighting here, like the color of the lighting.
No.
Like
you can
yellow.
go in a dark room. You can go either that type of a tungsten yellow, or
I know.
You can go red.
Yes, but I remember Jaws 2, this scene being red.
Okay, being red.
Yeah. I love the scene though, where just you're cutting, and I love the fact the eye's just in the corner. Like it's so like can't like just kind of like it's not perfectly symmetrical. It's not like there's a big picture of the shark. It's just his eye in the corner, as if the camera did just fall out of somebody's hand, snapped, and that's what it would look like, right? It's not like somebody took a photo of it. I fucking love it. Love it. I would have done the exact same thing. I'm telling you and I'm telling everybody at this table, that's a shark. And I know what a shark looks like because I've seen one up close. And you better do something about this one because I don't intend to go through that hell again.
Executed so well there, McRae.
Thank you. I'm going to turn it up too when he gets to it.
It's coming up.
No, I'm going to turn it up so our audience can hear it. Here it comes.
What are you talking about? Look at this.
That's a shock.
Hang on.
Look at the mouth, the eyes. Is that what it is?
I'm sorry, I just don't see it. Fuck you. He knows they're bullshitting too.
Could be anything.
Here it comes.
Wait a minute. Are you people telling me I don't know what
What
a
a shark looks
like?
like?
Brody, this is nothing. Seaweed, mud, something in the lens.
Lens my ass.
You're damn right it's your ass.
Now,
You like my ass, don't you?
Reasonable what? With him? God damn it, will you listen to the man? Will you just
He said
listen
that.
to him? Be reasonable.
Hang on. I gotta go. I gotta mute it here for a second. It's getting a little too crazy. Copyright's gonna come down. Not that it matters. That's true. He does have a point. You did shoot up a beach. Here it
I
comes.
think it is because there won't be anybody here.
Yeah, now, Martin, let's not.
Oh,
Let's
hang
not
on.
what, Larry?
Hang on.
Jesus, Larry. Come on, let's just...
Such a great scene, though.
It's obvious the man has made up his mind.
I've made up my mind. But I'm telling you and I'm telling everybody at this table that that's a shark. And I know what a shark looks like because I've seen one up close. And you better do something about this one because I don't intend to go through that hell again.
Yes! Tell him, Roy! Tell him! Tell him, Chief. Tell him. Fucking love it. Yeah, it's true. It's like, guys, like, I fucking risked my life to save your bureaucratic asses.
Last time.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Like, fuck you. Oh, I'd be like, fuck you. I'd be like, all right, all of you right now, get up. We're going out right now. Look for the shark.
Martin, can you just wait here, please, while we go back and discuss whether we want to fire your sexy ass or not?
He actually says it like that. He'd be like, what? And he's just sitting there going, okay. What? Sexy ass. I swear to God. It's too much work. I'm just lazy, but I would love to take a lot of my favorite movies and just dub over shit like that. It's kind of what I did with that Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker one where I was Emperor Palpatine. I was like, strike me down with all of your naked and your journey towards the dark side will be complete. It's like naked, but I matched it to his lips in Return of the Jedi. And, I do a serviceable Emperor Palpatine in that scene and it actually fooled some people. They were like, is this like an outtake? I'm like, okay, an outtake. What? An outtake? So part of the alt, hey, you know what? Great job, Ian. Let's do an alt where you say, strike me down with all your naked. What the fuck? What does that mean? Oh, man. Clearly it's a joke. This looks like a Friday the 13th bar. They're all going to go back to the campground.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to go back to the campground and get ha-ha-ha'd. She's the one that starts like flipping out, right? Oh, she likes Mike. That's right. Look at this teen angst right here.
If there's a girl like that, I'd be like, yep, I'm coming. I'll be there.
Yeah, I know. Like, what do you even? Well, he's totally.
Fuck my parents.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
He's being a rebel without a cause. Well, I love how like the beer cans fall out of his car. He's drinking and driving. He doesn't give a fuck anymore.
See, they got one of the kegs.
Yep.
Little nod there. The
Yes,
kegs in front of the house
yep.
from
That's
the,
right. What the barrels?
Because they floated back on the barrels, and
Yep.
you see him staring at it,
Yeah.
thinking about.
Think, oh fuck, here we
thought
go.
I thought that was a
Great.
good little.
It's
wink
great.
to the original film.
Yep, that's beautiful. Beautifully done, subtle. It's great. He doesn't have to explain what it is. The film doesn't explain what it is. It's just there. If you pick up on it, great. If you don't, you don't.
Yep. Tony Moran was only in this movie for 2 seconds. Knowing Tony, he was in the movie for like 90 minutes.
Oh, Tony Moran. Tony Moran. Tony Moran was the
Tony
unmasked.
Moran was the shark.
Well, he was the unmasked shark.
He was the unmasked shark.
He was the unmasked shark. Yes, that's
He's
right.
the shark jumping out at Michael Brody there.
That's right. The unmasked shark. There you go. You see, clearly Hendricks doesn't want this. He doesn't want to be chief.
No, he doesn't want it. Not like this.
Not well, because he wants to go and be a dentist.
Yep.
No, and it's true. He doesn't want to take. I mean, in the actual film, like the character, it doesn't feel right. It's not. He's not becoming chief because of the hard work he's done or some sort of promotion because his current boss is retiring. It's because he got fired.
Yeah, Reese, you're right. There is a deleted. I've seen that. There is a deleted scene where the mayor is the only one who wants to keep Brody as the chief, and I agree. They should have kept that in when they were talking about it.
That would have been cool because that would have showed you. That would have been cool actually because that would have made. Not that this doesn't make sense, but because Hamilton, I mean, he knows the shit that went down 5 years ago.
Right. So
right?
it would show you the mayor's like, well, what if this is true? You know what I mean? Like he's not 100% sure.
Right.
And he doesn't want to go through that again because he realizes if it is something like that again, the downfall of what could happen to the town.
Right.
After the after effects.
That's it. And I don't think from here on out, I don't even think we see Hamilton in the I don't think we see the mayor.
No, we don't see anybody
again in this movie.
On.
So yeah, that might have been a cool way to sort of complete his arc. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So
absolutely.
So he has a bit of an arc, where we're left with him knowing that yes, he's a dick. He's still a dick. He'll always be a dick. But he had there was a level of maturity there. Not maturity, but there was a level of common sense. There was a level of common sense and skepticism that, well, fuck, maybe he is right. Like, you know what I mean? There's just a little something there that you leave the audience with. That might not be bad. It's fine the way it is too, because he's still a dick. So, I mean, I could totally believe him not giving a fuck too. But that would have been a nice little added thing, where he's not, he's a cold-hearted fucking stone cold piece of crap, but maybe there's like a section of his heart that's sort of beating. I don't know. And it makes sense to his character because his character was there. His character, I mean, think of the residual, think of the aftermath when Brody and Matt Hooper came back. Like, we didn't see it. We just see them swimming and the credits roll. But I mean, they would have got back to land. They would have shown up at the police station. There would have been a press conference. It would have been in the papers. The mayor would have been interviewed. Like, you know what I mean? So the mayor, and who knows?
That would have been an interesting way to open up the movie. Everything you just said, kind of a backstory of what happened at the afterwards, like showing newspaper clippings and.
Well, you know what I mean? And I think like there's no doubt, like logic tells us that that's likely what would have happened. Who knows if the news would have gone national? I don't know. It's 1978. There's only 3 channels. I mean, it's not like what it is today, obviously. So, I mean, even the oceanographer or the killer whale expert is like, why would you think there's a great white in these waters? Like, it's kind of like, what do you mean? Why would he think that? Like, do you not, maybe she doesn't know. Maybe the news didn't travel. Maybe it wasn't an international thing or, a national thing.
Doesn't he look like him here? Watch him as he brushes his hair back a little bit. Mike, the guy who's playing Mike.
All right.
Kind of looks like, what's his name that plays him? Oh, little bit.
Just a little bit.
Like he looks like the younger version of.
Yeah, Lance Guest from 4.
A little bit. Not, obviously Lance looks more like what we see in a couple of years in Halloween 2, but
No, I get you though. I get you, yeah.
Good matching up,
Yep.
Not that like there's really anything good about Jaws 4, but
no.
And then the stupid King Kong roar at the end when she slams into the shark.
Oh, and that's the way there's some stop motion animation there that's dreadful.
There's a lot of things that are dreadful with Jaws 4.
I saw Jaws 4 at the drive-in when I was a kid.
I think if we're going to do Jaws 4, we need to make it a drinking game that night to get through that movie. Taking shots or something.
Oh, that's one '80s movie that I saw in the theater.
God,
that I'm
Sean
not
in
proud
that
of.
scene there where he was gonna snitch on his brother. That reminded me of my brother. My brother always tagged along when he was a
Michael.
kid. Ah, so many times my brother did that.
But it's
shit.
such a
When we
great-
snuck out of the house, my brother would tag along. I'm like, dude, no.
I
And then he'd be
know.
like, start screaming, so my mother would hear, like, fucking come on.
But I love the way that that the kid was directed to do that. You know what I mean?
No, it's, 'cause
And
it's totally like
it's-
the annoying younger brother.
exactly. But think about all the ways he could have done it. Like, you know, he could have been like, Mom, Dad, right? Nope.
Right.
You know, there's many different ways he could have done it, but he was just being like an antagonistic little bitch. You know, he was like, Michael. Like he was putting on a voice, like he was all like, now. It's totally what kids do.
Hey, so this came out the same year as Halloween.
I did.
78 was a good year.
78.
God, just imagine that. What it must have been like to be old enough to enjoy all these movies for the first time.
I think a lot of it is in retrospect too, right? Because think of the movies we were able to see in, you know, the theater.
Oh, I
or
know,
at
the
drive-in
80s and 90s. We
yeah,
had a
and
lot
it's
of
like we
good-
didn't know we were watching classics. You know, like it's not like when I left. Now, mind you, I was only 6 years old. But when we went to watch Back to the Future at the drive-in in 1985, I don't remember a lot because I was only 6. But I remember, you know, liking it. And it was fun. It was a fun movie, but I had no idea that it was going to become in one of the greatest science fiction movies of all time.
Nobody did.
Nobody did. That's actually the there is no score. It's some guy going it's actually a guy doing that.
The one thing I will say about Jaws is and there's an hour left, but if
Holy fuck, there's an hour left? Holy
50,
shit.
50 minutes,
Holy
about
fuck.
give or take.
It's a long movie.
But it flows. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's
it
no
does,
like the first. You know, now we're getting into like the real heart of the movie here, and what's about to go down and shit. There's not a lot of fat in this movie.
No, there isn't. Except earlier when you're on the beach.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's a couple of large people on the beach. Dave! I remember this scene, and I kind of still feel this way. Feels,
Like they could have cut it out.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It feels kind of like
if there were any fat, this is the fat that you could cut out.
yeah, like I don't really.
You don't need it.
You don't need. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't
No.
really.
And nothing happens. No one dies.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean, the dude sees the shark and he hauls ass to the top.
Yeah, and there's a bit. I just don't. Yeah, it feels.
No,
maybe,
I agree. I agree.
Maybe it was just to get more underwater shit, build more suspense. I mean, yeah.
Try to make it close to 2 hours.
Yeah, more suspense. I mean, it's not. It's a break. It's a bridge between, but
The kids and
yeah. And then going back to them. But I don't think it's necessary. If I was going to cut something, this is something that you would look at cutting. That I would look at cutting. What's the music here? Is it that same? Oh yeah. Yeah, who fucking did the music for Jaws? Obviously, the Jaws theme is by John Williams, but there is.
Well, everyone said in the chat room Williams did the score in this. When we asked earlier, yeah, they said it was Williams that did the score.
It was, yeah, John Williams. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It's a great fucking score. There's a couple of moments where even the Jaws theme in this movie, almost like he's got like another layer to it. Like he's got like a layer and then he puts like another layer in it. It's like bum 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 rum, bum 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 bum. I mean, you get that in the first one too, but there's something in this movie that's different. It was written by Carl Gottlieb and Howard Sackler. That's a great name, Howard Sackler.
Like a porno name.
Sackler. Yeah. It's all about the sack. There's the shark. Of course, he's got this marking, so now you know, obviously, that's the shark we're looking for. I'm not a diver, but I definitely know that this is a problem. You're not supposed to come up that fast. You can...
Yeah, that is legit. If you come up that fast...
Air bubbles in your veins and shit. It's not good. You could die. Yeah, it just seems kind of like, okay, so they're down there, they see the shark. Was it just... It feels like it's just another scene that was done for suspense. Just to have an extra scene with a moment.
And nobody notices the big ass shark fin behind them.
No.
I do like this POV of the shark though, heading towards the kids.
Yeah.
It's a good shot.
Yeah. Yeah. He's going towards them. The kids. Oh, we're coming to that Tina's boyfriend's death. It's a fucking great scene. And Tina fucking loses it. She sells it, man.
She sells it really good. Her and the girl who flirts with Mike to get him to go out, she loses it too.
Yeah,
she
does.
A couple of good screams in this.
Like both these girls, Victoria Miro it, and It's Me, Billy. That's what they do.
There you go.
That's what it is. Loses it. But you would. I mean, fuck. It's moi, William. It's me, Billy.
I like how he just looks up. He's like, you got a cigarette in the mouth. He's like,
Yep.
what's up?
I don't
What's
fucking
up?
care.
Fucking
Mike.
kids.
And then he's like,
Mike.
yeah. He thinks, they're starting early. They're good kids.
They're starting early. Good kids.
Starting early, starting on the
work.
pit. Look at him. He's like, yeah, my kids are fucked. Nope.
Damn it. There's a lot of cigarettes in that ashtray there.
He was a real big smoker in real life, if I'm not mistaken.
He was or wasn't?
I think he was. I think he was actually
okay.
a big smoker in real life. I think that's what he died of. Did he die of lung cancer? Let's check it out.
No, someone said skin cancer in the chat room.
Skin cancer. Well, that could also be because of smoking. Maybe not, but yeah, 2004 started with multiple melanoma. Oh. In June 2005, he received a bone marrow transplant to treat the cancer. He died February 10, 2008 in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh, he died in 2008. Okay. I thought he died like somewhere in the 90s or 80s.
No.
Oh, didn't Robert Shaw die in like the 80s?
Robert Shaw died in late 70s.
Okay.
Yeah. Robert Shaw looks like my grandfather when he was young, looked like a young Robert Shaw.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Robert Shaw died 1978, the year this movie came out.
The year this movie came out.
Yeah. He was only 51 when he died.
Really good actor.
It's weird to think that in Jaws, he was 47, only like 4 years older than us. Or 5 years older than us.
Damn. And so what, he died in his early 50s?
51.
Man.
I want to see if I can find a picture of my grandfather. It's got to be the right one, though. Give me a second here. Da-da-da-da. Can I find a picture of my grandfather? Lewis Hunt was his name. He died in 99.
I like the look she gives him with the beer cans. He's like, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Maybe it's not here. Yeah, I have it somewhere, but I don't think I have it easily accessible. Yeah. I'll have to dig it up sometime and do like a side by side. But yeah, my grandfather really did look like him. My mom's dad. Desktop. I used to have them on one of my drives here. I had all these old photos, old family photos. But it's, yeah, I don't know where it is. I'm trying to do this on the fly. I don't know where it is. So I'll have to look for it some other time. Is that? Got my other grandfather, but not.
Not Lewis Hunt.
Oh, no, that's my other grandfather. My dad's dad. Oh, well, not a big deal. I'll try to find it some other time. Dun, 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 dun. Look at the size of that fin. Did you see the size of the fin when it came out of the water? I think that's the one where it looks so massive. That was the one that I was talking about. I thought it was earlier, but it was that one. It's like holy fuck. This is such a great scene. This is full on horrific. Can you imagine this happening?
No, it would fucking blow, dude.
Yeah. I wouldn't be waiting around. I'd be fucking I'd be swimming back there right now.
Hauling ass.
Yes. Yes.
He's just sitting there like, yeah, I'm just going to float here for a minute.
I know. Like, what are you doing? I guess because you don't know what you've hit or what hit you, or maybe it's a rock.
That's what it is.
So you're like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll just
happened.
You know. This is so great. Here, the shark's turning. This is great. This music right here.
Yeah, I agree. Eddie.
Yes, yes, yes!
Has to go.
Look at that shot. This shot right here going under the boat towards. Oh, yes! Fuck yes. Love it.
So long, Eddie.
See, Eddie? So good. John Williams, ladies and gentlemen.
Brings him like
you can feel it.
Boat and he hits his head on the boat.
And it's that pace. It's a. It's so great. Oh yeah, boom. It's so great, Eddie. Why are you trying to help him? Like she's literally just sitting there.
Freaked out.
I know.
Like,
I know, but she's not even trying to help.
Process what she's seeing.
She can't. She's fucking. Oh my god, like she's losing control. She's losing control.
Do we think Robert Titfitoff's asking? Do I think Tina looks like Jennifer Aniston? No, I don't.
No,
mm-hmm.
I've never looked at this girl and thought. I mean, she has
not even young Rachel Jennifer Aniston.
What like Tina has cuter, rounder features, and Jennifer Aniston back in the day had. Well, she still does, but obviously she's older. But back in the Friends era, she also had cuter, rounder features. So I mean, I can see what you're saying in that sense, as opposed to like a bolder look, like somebody like Courtney Cox has more of a bolder look, right? They're both very attractive, but one is more cuter, one's got a bolder sort of look. They're both rounder, cuter, smaller features, but I've never looked at Tina and thought of Jennifer Aniston.
Same.
Yeah, that fucking scene was that's one of the that's great. Like that's a great scene in any movie. Like forget that this is a sequel to one of the greatest films of all time. That's like if you just take that scene in a vacuum, right? It's a great scene. That's a genuinely
that's what I was
suspenseful
saying.
scene.
Like the kills in this movie with the shark kills, they did a good job with it. Like obviously what they do in 3 and 4 is just total fucking garbage. But in this particular movie, like you said, when it's almost impossible to rival what they did in the first film and how great the first film. Like when Alex gets it, Alex's kill is one of the, obviously when Quint gets it as well too. But they did a really good job of like his death there, Tina's boyfriend, and then what's going to happen here shortly to the other girl. There were solid kills. Yep.
Great suspense, great music. It's the pace of that iconic theme. It's so great. I don't mean that's what it sounds like. That's the pace, the beats. It's so good. Hendrix, get the fuck out of here. Go to Haddonfield. Become a dentist. You're not up for this job. Later this year at listen, it's the summer. This Halloween, you'll be picking the teeth out of a corpse.
Yeah, that's true.
Picking the teeth of a
'Cause
corpse,
it
I
does
should say.
happen on the same night. I was like, wait.
Yeah?
I was like, oh yeah, that is true.
Well, it was 81, but it's supposed to be 78.
Yep.
So 4 months. So this is
4
July.
months later, you're picking teeth out of Ben Tramer's fucking mouth.
3 months later.
3 months later.
3.5 months. Almost 4 months later. He's picking the teeth of Ben Tramer. Jaws and Halloween, same universe.
I buy it.
Can you imagine? Yeah, it's more of a. The biggest difference between Jaws 2 and Jaws 1 is definitely this is more of an adventure horror movie. And the first Jaws, not that it's not horror, but I'm just saying it's a much more mature thriller drama. Yeah, for sure. Much better character development, better actors, better characters.
But Dave, I disagree with you on that.
I disagree
Here's my
with you,
50
Dave.
response. Answers as to why. Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
This girl, I don't know her name in the movie, but she's the one who gets it.
The one in the blue? The one in the blue
The one
hat?
in the blue that's with Sean.
With Sean? Yeah.
I don't know her name. Maybe they'll say her name here in a little bit.
Maybe they will. Maybe if they... I think she would...
God, you are so right. You could take every single one of these actors at that time and just pick them up and put them all in a Friday the 13th
100%.
movie.
The shark is Jason.
Pretty much.
This is Jason's Friday the 13th on the water.
Yeah, Friday the 13th on the water.
On salt water. On the ocean. On the ocean. That's what this is.
In the Atlantic. Filmed in Florida.
Ha ha ha. Or for Friday the 13th purists, mama, mama,
We're reaching now. We're tying Jaws into Friday the 13th and Halloween.
mama,
Marge. Her name is Marge. So
Marge.
She's not large Marge. Tell Marge sent you.
I love this scene too. This is a great moment. You know, you get to the boat, you're like, where the fuck is the girl? Like, and then you think, well, maybe the shark got her, right? You know what I mean? And they're like, what the fuck? Yep. It's so good.
Yeah, that's right.
And she sells it, man.
Was released yesterday. It was the anniversary for Jaws, the first Jaws.
Yep. I totally buy her selling it.
And I think the second one is around this time too, right?
Yeah, it was in the summer. I still haven't seen Jaws on the big screen. I hope I'd love to see it on the big screen. The first one.
I'm telling you, man. I don't know if you have the access up there in Toronto, but if they do have like a water thing where they show Jaws on the water,
yeah.
it's a fun experience.
I'd love it. I'd totally do it.
Yeah, this chick looks like she has lost it.
She
does it well.
Sells it. Look at her.
When she freaks out here.
Look at her. Look at her face.
I buy it.
Ellen.
And then she screams it, and it's also the moment of confirmation. Watch Chief Brody look at Ellen when she screams it. Watch them look at each other. Watch them look at each other. You don't have to say anything. It's the moment of confirmation. Here it comes. And they just look at each other like that. They know. They know. And it's such a great moment. It's the moment where they look at each other and it's that, fuck. You know what I mean? Yes, it's happening again. So good. That's a good moment.
Yeah, again, I think that's what makes this movie such a strong sequel is that you had really solid performances from the actors in here. You know, and like you said, you've said a few times during this stream tonight.
Yep.
You don't never once get the idea that Roy's phoning it in because of the problems on set.
Nope. No, I would never have known there was a problem.
No.
He's totally committed. Now, again, like I said, he knows that he's out after this one, out of his contract. He's getting paid a lot more than he got paid for the first one. I mean, there's incentives for him to just kind of suck it up.
Sure.
But it's also a sign of the professionalism as well, right? He's going to do whatever he can.
That's a swimming pool. There's no way that's the Atlantic. That's too clear.
This is in the same universe as Christine.
Ooh.
This is basically Christine on the ocean. I mean, that is what this is.
Christine,
is Christine
Jason
on the ocean.
Michael Myers.
Yeah. Christine on the ocean. There's Shelley. He reminds me of Shelley from Friday the 13th Part 3. Oh, boom. There comes Christine, the car. That's the car right there.
Does he get it?
No. No, I don't think so. I think only the two girls get it. Because they were having unprotected sex. No, no, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think anybody
Premarital
has sex in the
sex.
first two Jaws. Well, they go skinny dipping at the beginning in the first Jaws, but
Yep, and she gets
I guess they were alluded to hooking up. Oh,
Yep.
Michael gets whacked in the head.
Oh, boom, down he goes into the water. I love that.
Down he goes.
And now, of course, we as the audience, and, you know, the characters too, but we as the audience have that extra, oh, shit, that's Chief Brody's son. You know, he's a little less expendable than, both his kids are less expendable than, than the other characters, right? I think this one in blue became a lawyer. I think she became a lawyer in life. Like, she just quit acting in the 80s, I think, and she became a lawyer or something. The second person that gets it, which is a great kill. There's some really good shots of the shark in this movie. Of course, we can't forget the helicopter that shows up to try and save them.
Chester, what's my favorite scene in Jaws 2? Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of good scenes in this.
What's your favorite scene in Jaws?
This is a good one here. It's good suspense, getting, Mike out of the water and how close it.
I know.
It's a good callback to the first one with Brody seeing the shark for the first time and the shark comes out of the water.
Yeah.
I don't know, Chester. There's a lot. It's hard to just pinpoint one scene. Which says a lot, how strong of a sequel this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is great. He's unconscious. It's coming for him. It's personal. He knows. That's that fucking Chiefs kid.
It's personal.
That's
Brody. I'm gonna kill you. What you did to my cousin.
That's it. And that would be hard to get a body out of the water. A dead weight body like that, that'd be tough.
You see the hydraulic, but whatever, it is what it is.
You do see the hydraulic?
Briefly. If you pause that scene when the shark's mouth is open like that, you see the hydraulic inside.
Oh, do you? I'll have to go back and have a look.
I mean, it's only when you're pausing it. You got to remember, when they're releasing this in 1978, they're not thinking our technology is going to advance to what it is today.
Right.
So that's probably why they left it in there.
And Mike's legs, his knees were also bent. His knees wouldn't be bent, right? Like he came up out of the water and then he kind of lifted his knees up. Like, you don't think about these things, obviously, what's happening all at once. But, when you watch it 10 million times, you're like, oh, why did he's unconscious, but he knew to bend his knees? Fascinating. Look at those shoes. We got to get Mike to a hospital. Are you okay? Yeah! Can you get it over here? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this girl here, not the one with the curly hair, the one with Sean. I think she's a lawyer now.
Okay.
Shelley.
Yes, Michael Myers. Dave and I are. Jurassic Park is definitely on the horizon.
Jurassic Park.
It's definitely on the horizon.
Jurassic. Jurassic Park. I remember seeing that in the theater.
She's hot.
I
like her.
The one that wanted Mike?
Yeah, this one. She's cute.
Yeah.
She's got nice eyes.
She got nice Betty Davis eyes.
She's got Betty Davis eyes. There you go.
She actually doesn't have Betty Davis eyes, but she's pretty. Betty Davis. I fucking love Betty Davis. She was a great actress. She was the kind of woman that
Classic.
woman that didn't give a she was, but she didn't give a fuck either. She'd tell you, she'd be like, "No, you're a fucking dick." Like
she's elegant, but she has that. Yeah, she has that side to her.
Yep, elegant,
she's
classy.
She's not quite Hepburn.
No, she's not
Hepburn.
Hepburn. No. She didn't have that type of no. But I love the movie with her and Joan Crawford. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? Great fucking movie. 1960, I think, or somewhere around there. That's a movie I'd fucking watch on here. That'd be good. I saw the house too where that was shot when we were in
Say again?
Hollywood. The movie Whatever Happened to Baby Jane with Joan Crawford and Betty Davis. Yeah. When my girlfriend and I were in LA a couple years ago, we went over to the house, the exterior of the house anyway, where they shot it, and it was cool. Got our photos taken there. That's a house that nobody goes to. Everybody's going to the Myers house and the Elm Street house. You guys want to go to the Baby Jane house? The what? It's like that guy in the first Jaws. Tiger shark.
No, Dave, go to the Myers house. No, Dave, go to the Myers house.
I've been to the Myers house. Go again.
Yeah, go again, Dave. Just keep going. Anytime you're in Pasadena,
I'm just gonna live in front of the Myers house.
You're a Halloween channel. That's it. It's only Halloween. It's Halloween, 365 days of the year.
I'm gonna start doing top 10 shoelaces, top 10 Dr. Loomis
shoelaces.
Nope, top 10 Dr. Loomis eyebrow raises. Top 10 Dr. Loomis eyebrow raises. What is the number one Loomis eyebrow raise?
Top 10 Laurie Strode 1,000-yard stare.
Mm-hmm. Top 10 Michael Myers shoulder moves, like when he moves his shoulder to the right. Top 10 of those. Right. Yeah. Top 10 Michael Myers stances. Actually, that could be one probably somebody would do.
Probably.
Top 10 Jamie Lloyd lip quivers. Top 10 Jamie Lloyd lip quivers. Yes, but here's the thing. If I actually did that, people would watch it. People would be like, I actually think the lip quiver in 4 was better than 5.
You'd get into serious debates with people.
Yeah, you could.
Over which lip quiver was better.
I love our Halloween fans, but sometimes there's stuff out there I'm like, really? I never even thought to do a top 10 list on that. What the heck? Top 10 Jamie Lloyd lip quivers. What does that even mean? Are there even 10 to do? Are there even 10? We'll have to go through Halloween 4 and 5 and see if we can find moments where Danielle Harris is going.
Well, she does it at the train. Remember when she's running out of the school?
Right.
She's like calming herself down. It's okay. Okay.
That's number 9. That's number 9. That's number 9.
Jesus.
This is the Coast Guard, or not? Is it the Coast Guard? Harbor Patrol. Harbor Patrol. I love it.
Top 10 Linda Totally. There you go.
Top 10 Linda Totally. Well, but see that's almost something you could do. I don't know if there's 10 of them, but that's something I could totally see somebody doing.
Totally. Absolutely.
But totally. But when you get to I'm being extreme. I'm being stupid to make a point, right? Top 10 Michael shoelaces.
Top 10. I mean, top 10. That's still great. You should do that. Top 10 Michael Myers shoelaces.
Top 10 Michael Myers shoelaces.
Top 10 Michael Myers closing a door or a trunk.
Top 10 Dr. Loomis grunts. And the number 1 Dr. Loomis grunt is. I could do it. It would get 5,000 views. Oh, it's crazy.
Halloween, 365 days of the year.
Yep.
24/7.
24/7. 24/7 means I have like a live feed on me when I'm sleeping.
It's constant. It's constant. And then some years it's 366 on.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's constant. It's completely constant.
It's constant. Always Halloween.
Yeah. I love this though. And wasn't there more to this scene too?
Top 10 Tony Moran scenes.
Top 10 Tony Moran scenes in Halloween. And number 1. But wasn't there more?
That's it.
I thought there was more to this scene too.
There was. There's an unedited version of this.
Right.
in the deleted scenes.
Right. Yeah,
Just
you
like a
definitely
good creative kill. You know, showing you the strength of the shark.
Yep. You definitely see the shark more, and you know the mystique isn't as there. It's a good looking shark though. Like it looks good. I've never thought the sharks in Jaws. Well, the shark in Jaws: The Revenge, coincidentally and ironically, because it's 13 years after or 12 years after the first. You think the technology would get better. The sharks look fake in 3 and 4, but I actually, with the exception of a few little moments in this movie and maybe one minor moment in the first, but for all, like, I still think the sharks look more real in Jaws 2 and the first Jaws today than any CGI shark I've ever seen. 100%.
100%. I
Yep.
agree.
I fully, that's one of my problems with sharks is that in modern day films, they're CGI and sometimes they can look pretty good, but they swim too fast. They swim too fast. They dart too fast. It doesn't feel like a real swimming, like it doesn't feel like it's actually organically there. It feels and looks CGI. But the sharks in this movie, I'm telling you, like that looks like a real shark.
Yeah, the sharks in the first 2 Jaws, they look solid.
Yeah, solid. I mean, there's like a moment where you're like, oh, well, but
right?
Marge,
Yeah.
Large Marge, she's not. This is a great moment.
I didn't want Marge to get it.
No, she's cute too.
She's like, I can't get up. And
I
like,
know,
oh,
but it's
man.
the way you see the shark coming up behind her, I think.
And like she knows. It's like the doom is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's juicy shit. Whoa.
Fucking, I didn't want her to go. I felt bad. She can't get up. She knows.
Yeah,
and that sucks.
Yep. Fuck. Look at that. Look at that. Oh! You see the shark coming out of the water. Now they cut away, obviously, because they don't want to reveal that they dance around
I don't
the
think
sharks.
you need to show it. I like how that you see it from the back. I'm cool with that.
So good. And the way that girl was screaming and then just cuts to silence. I love it. Again, beautiful use of sound and cutting to silence. It's great. It's fucking great. Just seeing the shark slowly coming out of the water like that, it's like, wow. There's some great moments. I'm telling you, there's some great moments with the shark in this film.
There's enough of them now. You could do the top 10 Halloween score.
Oh yeah, but that's been done before. Top like Halloween scores, Halloween openings, Halloween endings, Halloween pumpkins, Michael Myers masks, Dr. Loomis quotes, all that stuff is like it's like being a Halloween YouTuber 101. What should I talk about? Well, here's the playbook. Start with top 10 Dr. Loomis quotes. It'll get you 1,000 views.
50 other YouTubers are going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And the same people are going to
I've done a few of those.
the exact same comment on that YouTube channel as they're going to do on that YouTube channel.
Yep. I've done a few of those. Not. I've done like maybe a couple of those.
Early on, you were like, because you and I were like one of the first to do it, and then you kind of you tapered off from it.
Well, I tapered off because Halloween tapered off.
Everybody started. Well, and then everybody started to do it, and it once you get like 50 different channels doing the exact same thing, it loses.
Yeah, I mean, people and listen, people, if you're happy doing that, that's great. Knock yourself out. The reason why I not stopped, but I was talking about and then started to talk about other shit is because I have other interests and there's nothing Halloween to talk about. I like new information. I don't mind talking about the same shit over and over again to a point, but I get sick of it and I'd like to talk about other things. But I mean,
Sean, get the fucking rope, you little shit.
I'll always talk about it when there's stuff to talk about, of course. Sean, I'm going to come over there and kick your ass. He says something like that.
Tim, no, I never made. My sister went on the Jaws ride, but I never managed to go. My sister.
The one in Florida?
The one in Florida.
Oh,
yeah, she did.
I went on it.
Did you go on it?
Yeah, back in the day when it was like
back in the day,
like when it was like an animatronic fucking shark coming out of the water. It was great. It didn't look as good as this, obviously, but it was perfect for a ride. Yeah, it was great
for a ride.
Yeah,
right, for a amusement park ride.
The Florida one is great. The Jaws ride, which is still there at Universal in Hollywood, which has been there for decades. It's not even a ride. It's part of the backlot tour. You're on a tram and then you tour Amity a bit, like a bit of a backlot thing, and then the shark comes up. But it's terrible. Like it's not even it's not designed to be like a experience. It just looks, it's this mechanical shark coming out of the water, which you can see underneath it. You can see like, the springs popping it out of the water, but you're not supposed to see it. It's just it's fun, but it's not like the ride that was at Universal Studios in Orlando in the 90s. That fucking ride was amazing.
That's the ride that TS wanted to get married to. What was her name in Mallrats?
Oh,
TS was the guy. Brody was his boy, and he's like, "That's the most romantic thing I've ever heard." No, he was going to propose to her on the Jaws ride. That's it. He wasn't going to marry her.
I haven't seen Mallrats in a while.
Brandy, I think her name was Brandy.
I love that movie.
Dude, we got to watch Mallrats one night. We do. Are you kidding me? Mallrats is my fucking. I love that flick.
Yeah.
Of the Kevin Smith films, I like Clerks, Mallrats, Dogma's good.
I don't mind Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy's good. It's kind of like I got to be in the mood for like that kind of romantic type comedy thing. Jay and Silent Bob, it lost its charm at that point.
You know what Kevin Smith film I like that a lot of people don't? Red State.
That's a good one.
I really like Red State a lot. Yeah. It's not a comedy, but I think it's a really good film. I wish he would do more movies like that.
Tusk is a horror film that he did.
Yeah. I wish he would do more movies like that, but he doesn't need to. He doesn't care. He's financially stable.
Brandy Spinning, I think was her name, the character's name in Mallrats, and TS was gonna propose to her on the Jaws ride.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Jaws.
Damn, where did this blonde come from? She just pops up at the end, looking all hot and praying.
Where the fuck? I don't even remember seeing her throughout the entire movie.
I know. She just shows up at the end, doing a little prayer, just looking hot, sitting there by herself.
They were going to make a spin-off of Jaws, and it was going to be Jaws' baby brother called Gums.
Gums.
Yeah, Gums. It was going to be a little Jaws. He didn't have any teeth yet. So this is called Gums.
Gums.
Yeah, and he'd bite your leg, but it would feel good. It'd feel like, a bit of a massage. Yeah. It's like, exactly. Gums is here. Hey, Gums, what's going on, buddy?
Clerks 2 was all right, Hans. Yeah, there's some funny moment in Clerks 2, but not like the original. The original Clerks is fucking
I never saw Clerks 2. I've only seen the first Clerks. I have the first Clerks, actually. Do I have the first Clerks?
Yeah, so do I. I have that on VHS and
it's a good movie.
On digital. And I got Mallrats up there.
Warren Armour says it's really Tony Moran in a blonde wig. That's right.
Yeah,
that's Tony Moran's cameo.
That's Tony Moran's.
That's it.
Mallrats and Clerks are up there. I couldn't find it.
Kevin Smith paid for Clerks on like a couple of credit cards, I think.
Really? He did. He went and made the movie himself, and he was like, fuck Hollywood. I think that's what I respect about Kevin Smith is that he didn't go about becoming who he became in Hollywood the traditional way. He went out and just made his mark and did it himself.
It was a big risk.
I respect that.
Yeah, it was a big risk because if the Weinstein Company had not, he would have been I think he was like, how much did Clerks cost? 15,000?
20,000? 20,000? I don't know.
Something like that. And he put it all on credit cards.
All on credit cards.
It was a risk.
It's a big fucking risk.
He believed in his little film. There's the Cable Junction set.
One of the scenes I love about Clerks 2 is the line there that what are the clerks' names? You have
I can't remember.
The guy with the goatee. I can't remember. Randall. That's the one I was thinking of. Randall, when he's having the conversation there with the Lord of the Rings fan, and he's like, there's only one return, and it is not of the king, it is of the Jedi.
That's a good line.
I love that line.
And that was like 9 years before even the Return of the King movie.
Yeah. No, Return of the King came out. The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you're talking about Clerks 2?
In Clerks 2,
he
says
Clerks
that
2.
line to a Lord of the Rings
I thought you were
fan.
talking about Clerks. Because Clerks was 94. And Return of the King was 03.
No, Clerks was in 94, man. That none of those movies were out except for the original trilogy.
Yeah. But no, Clerks 2 I think was 06, was 2006.
Dante, that's the other guy. Dante and Randall.
That's right. Jaws is going to kill you all. What happened to this kid, Sean? I wonder what he went on to do. No, it's the shark. No, I know it's the shark. Shut up. Jackie.
You know who Jackie looks like she could be in her eyes now?
A young Linda Hamilton?
No, she looks like she could be Nurse Ratchet's fucking kid.
Oh. Yeah,
if you look at the eyes of the girl who plays Jackie, and then go look at the actress who played Nurse Ratchet in Cuckoo's Nest,
okay,
look like they could be mother and daughter.
I gotta watch that movie again. I haven't seen
Cuckoo's
it in forever.
Nest? Yeah, I watched Cuckoo's Nest about a month ago. Month and a half ago. Yeah,
fuck, I haven't watched it in so long. One flew over the cuckoo's nest. Here comes Brody. And it's the noise they make that attracts the shark. Cable Junction. Those sailboats were not very... I don't think I would have wanted to go out that far on a boat like that. Not Brody's boat. We're so fucking vulnerable. Like, we are nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, being out on the sea, like, fuck. We're so vulnerable. Like, it just, the slightest little thing can throw a wrench into everything and we're done. We're done. We are done. Doesn't the shark come up through the...
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, shit. It's the first time he's seen it. This is the first time he's actually seen the shark.
It's the first time he's seen a shark, yes.
Yeah.
Brody, you're driving that boat like a drunk.
Brody, what are you doing? Oh, no! Yeah, no! No!
So you're going to go into a little fucking raft with a big ass shark.
Yep, he's getting into a raft.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
He has balls.
Like balls of steel.
The
I
size...
guess because he faced the shark the first time
Dude,
around.
He's got 2 testicles the size of basketballs, and they are iron and steel. That's what he calls his balls. Iron and steel. Yeah. Iron and steel. I'm going to pull you on over, okay? Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, when did this movie come out? I know it was 78. I'm just looking for the...
A couple days ago in 78. That's what someone in the chat room said.
Yeah, June 16th.
Yeah.
June 16th, and Jaws was June 20th. So yesterday. Makes sense to have it around the same time. $9 million was the budget for Jaws, and $30 million was the budget for Jaws 2. So yeah, there definitely would have been a pay raise for Scheider. Dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun. What's he doing? He's coming through. Oh no, we're all falling into the water. We're all vulnerable.
Jackie's fucking flipping out.
Yeah, Jackie.
She's selling it. She's selling it.
Jackie's the Willie Scott of this movie.
I'm telling you, man, she is selling that fucking screen.
Oh yeah, she's now that's a real shark right there. That one shot of the shark in the water.
Kind of like in the original Jaws.
That's
where
right.
There's a couple of cut to shots of like, that shark looks a little small.
No, but it's the way it moves. You can tell it's a real shark.
Oh, Lindsay? Is that what she said? His name is Lindsay.
Does she die? No, she doesn't die.
She gets scraped.
She gets scraped. by the
Lucy or Lindsay? I'm having a hard time making her name out.
Maybe it's
because he's screaming so loud and splashing at the same time.
Here it comes. Jackie, shut up, Jackie.
Shut up, Jackie.
Yeah, I love that. Can you imagine the therapy you would need
after two events?
Yeah, like the dude is out on the ocean. Only him he happens to shoot.
Which doesn't make sense as to why the Brody family would still be living in Amity all those years later. You would think that after the second event, that's it. I'm gone. I'm off the island. I'm going back on the mainland. I'm going to deal with fucking the crimes in New York.
Oh, I see. Oh,
this is too
after
much.
Yeah. You'd think after this one for sure. Like, what do you like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're going to go head to head here now. I agree with you. I do I like how they filmed this sequence.
It's great. There's some nice
She's
moments.
just fucking flipping out.
Yeah. She was just told, you need to just
That's
be
all the
in a
director
constant
did.
state of
Jackie, I
flipping
need you to
out.
flip out. No, flip out some more. Shake your head. Scream.
Yeah. Yeah, you need just to fucking flip out. Looks great. I wonder what a real great white shark would think coming upon Bruce the shark.
What the fuck is this?
Probably like, what the fuck?
Yeah, could you imagine like if they came across a real great white shark while making this in the water?
Yeah, or what that great white shark would think of the fake shark. Probably what probably how we react when we walk into a store and see a mannequin.
Yeah.
The fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?
Oh, this is so good. This music here is great too. The subtlety of it.
The shark's fin going under the water.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's great. Nice. Yeah, right from the side.
Of course, that's the real shark footage.
Yeah, swimming off into the distance, into the murky water of the ocean. Where is it? Like, if this doesn't work, like Chief Brody should be he should be a fucking Navy SEAL. Okay, like I mean, you know,
for real, honorary Navy SEAL.
He's a superhero. Chief Brody is a fucking superhero. At the end of this movie, like think what he did at the end of the first movie, what he does at the end of this movie. He's a fucking superhero. Shark's making the turn.
Smile, you son of a bitch, and now it's what? Say ah? Is that what he says?
Yeah, I think it's say ah. Say ah. This is so good. This is so great. It looks like
balls of steel, man.
Yeah, balls of steel. This is so great. Now watch the shot. I love it. You're like a second ahead of me, so you'll probably see it first. But I fucking love this shot. It's coming up. It's gonna be from behind. Scheider's in the foreground. Shark's in the background. Here it comes. It's coming up. He's coming up. He's coming up. There. That's a. Oh man, that's great. Say ah. Zzz. Woo! Woo!
Brody should have died too.
Yeah, maybe.
They both get electrocuted.
Yeah, they both get electrocuted. The shark is frying and Brody's going.
Looking like Harry from Home Alone.
Yeah, like yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Big spike and everything. His hair all over the place.
Well, I think that shark is done.
That shark is toast. Yep. You have just at the end of the first movie, one ball, his right testicle became iron. At the end of this movie, his left testicle is now known as steel. Like, he's got no testicles left. Okay, like that's why he had to move on. You know, he's like, guys, I can't keep saving your fucking asses from a shark. I've only got 2 testicles.
It became personal for the great whites.
That's right.
All from this moment on,
that's
it became personal.
Yeah, all the great whites in the ocean now are like, you fucking hear that?
We're tracking the Brody family down.
Did you fucking hear what happened to Jim? He fucking got electrocuted. Are you serious? Yeah, that same fucker that fried Bruce.
That blew up.
Really? Yeah.
Bruce.
So Bruce and Jim were killed by the same fucker? Yeah.
All right. Now we gotta go fucking kill the young one first, and then we'll travel down to the fucking Bahamas and kill the other one.
Fuck that shit, man. We're going after this family. Come on, guys. You guys ready? Let's fucking do this.
We're gonna go to SeaWorld first and get trapped.
Yeah, that's right. But we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait like 5-10 years. Wait till they get jobs at SeaWorld, and then we're gonna fuck them up. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And this is, of course, where it ends. Art directors.
And this is where it should have ended. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, this should have been the end of the whole thing. And it ends very similar, like with, you know, you see them on the water, the white text, even the music. That's right.
Yep. Good sequel.
Yeah, it was a good sequel. Jaws 2, ladies and gentlemen. That was 1978's Jaws 2, the sequel to the 1975 classic Jaws. Not as good as Jaws, but arguably, you know, this is the Psycho 2 of Jaws. This is, you could say, maybe even Halloween 2. You know,
solid sequel.
It's good. And then there's a gigantic drop off after that. A gigantic drop off.
Gigantic ain't even a word for it.
No, it's
Titanic.
It's
Titanic.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a epic Titanic drop off. That's right. And I love this shot too, how we're like tracking upwards towards the sunset.
Yeah. This is how they should have ended it. Perfect.
Yeah, just should have been it. Filmed in Panavision, colored by Technicolor. Yeah. This motion picture is protected under laws of the United States and other countries. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability and criminal something.
See, now you hear the birds chirping, and the sharks are talking to each other now.
That's right.
We're coming for our revenge.
Right. That's right.
Fuck this shit. They're not going to do this to Bruce and Jeff, or what did you name this shark in Jaws 2?
But instead of having it should be a guy just going
should have images of the other sharks having a shark meeting.
That'd be funny.
All right, we're gonna wait about 10 years and we're gonna make our move.
All right, let's go to the chat. Oh, sorry, dude. Sorry, I didn't hear you there.
I was gonna say we're gonna give them a false sense of security, let them feel safe, and then we'll come back in 10 years.
That's it. That's what we're gonna do. Let's go to the chat room. We don't have long because Tony's got another busy day tomorrow, so we want to be mindful of that. He's got to hit the sack, as they say, and because he's got to get up bright and early. But let's go over to the chat and get a few questions in anyway. There was a couple of super chats that came in. I think you got one. You got the one from... Let me go back here. I got to go back into here.
There was one I answered because it was kind of relevant to what was going on in the moment.
Right. Okay, let me do this and go to here. And the super chats that came in was David Lee Barron sends in $1.99, says, "Hi there, Dr. Pichet and Tony Christ." Hello there, David. Hello there. Bud Gupperson sends in $5.55, says, "Spending my birthday with the two dudes and their bullshit." Well, happy birthday, Bud Gumperson, my man. I hope you had a great birthday today. Tom Ferreira sends in $4.99, says, "The Jaws 4 shark is the pettiest shark ever." I know. Like, seriously, you know what I mean? And you answered that one. You answered the Reese Wilson one about the mayor. Cool. So we got those. So let's go to the see what you guys are saying. All right, where are we here? There we are. I don't know. I haven't had my glasses on the entire show. That's fucking hilarious. All right, put my glasses on. Wow, I can actually see people. Holy shit. Mark Williams sends in $4.99 and says, "Have you seen Peter Benchley's The Beast? Yes, and it was terrible. It was an NBC made-for-TV movie in 1996. I remember it very well. Used to watch my copy I recorded on tape all the time. Oh, really? I didn't like it. I think it's because
I've seen it.
I don't know how old you are, Mark, but in 1996, I was 17, as was Tony, and we were very familiar with obviously Jaws, and it was all Jaws. And when Peter Benchley's book was being turned into a TV movie, The Beast, that was the octopus one, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was such high expectations, like, from the writer of Jaws, and you're like, ooh, The Beast, another ocean movie, ooh, and it was like, oh. It wasn't great. I didn't like it. I watched it. I remember watching it. I think it was in 2 parts, wasn't it? Wasn't there it was over there was a 2-part thing, I think? Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, I wasn't crazy on it. But if you liked it, dude, hey, that's pretty good. That's all that matters. Zach Axiola says, Dave, any thoughts on Toy Story 4? If you've seen it, I have not seen. I've only seen Toy Story 1 and 2. I've not seen 3 and 4. I haven't even
seen Toy Story 1.
I think you'd like it. They're good movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Well, I told you that before. I'm not really big on animation.
Yeah. But Pixar's shit is really good.
I mean, it's great. It's cool to look at. I'm just not
but I mean, their stories are really good.
Oh, wait, I shouldn't have said that because I'm gonna get hate now. Of course, Tony doesn't like animation films.
No, but the stories are good. I tell you, Inside Out, which I did some promos for that film, but I remember when I finally watched the movie, I got a chance to see a bit of it before it was released to the public because I was doing a lot of the ads for it. But when it came out, I remember watching it with my girlfriend, and I kid you not, I had a lump in my throat by the end of the movie. I was like, holy fuck. It's the way they weave their characters and their stories and shit. You know what movie I really like? I don't think it's Pixar, though. I don't think it is. But anyway, one of my favorite animated films of the last forever is Zootopia. Dude, it's fucking hilarious. Zootopia is great. I love Zootopia. I highly recommend it. Zootopia is great. The Spiral Sky Project sends in $10 and says, when people say they don't make movies like they used to, isn't that because from the technical aspect, we use different technology, etc., and literally make films different movies had more focus back then? I don't think it's it's a good question. I don't think it's a black and white answer. I don't think it's just a technical thing. Obviously, we are more technologically advanced today than we've ever have been. But I think when somebody says, there's 2 things that are happening, right? There's a bit of bias because obviously there's that nostalgia bone that we all have. Like the kids today, that are 20 and 17 and 18, 30 years from now or 25 years from now when they're, my age, they will be saying the same things we are. Oh, you know what? The music of the 2010s and the 20s, that's where it was at. That's where it was at.
And everything's generational.
Exactly. And you know what? In comparison to where we might be in 25 years, they might be right. So there is a bit of that nostalgia kind of bias, kind of what you grew up with, right? It's what you are accustomed to, what you grew up with. But Tony's right. From a storytelling perspective, years and years ago, there was not that they're, again, this is generally speaking, but years and years ago, especially when you go back to the old black and white films from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, there was such a focus on story and character and nuance and development. They told really good stories. And today, not that the Marvel films aren't telling, good stories. I'm not saying it's not there, but I think because we are we are saturated today more today than we've ever been before at any other point in time with garbage. Right? So yes, we have a lot of good things. We have more good things than we've ever had before. But with that, because this is about making money and it's a business, we're also saturated with more and more garbage than we've ever been saturated with before either. So sometimes it's hard to weed through that and find the good stories, the human stories, the characters. It can be tough.
There's pros and cons. There's pros and cons. I kind of feel for this. I feel for this generation a little bit because when they do get to our age, when they look back on, it's pretty much one genre. It's comic book films. You know what I mean? Especially when you get into the action genre. You got a good handful of horror films that have come out over the last 20 years. But when it comes to action films, primarily it's comic book movies. Whereas when you look at what we had growing up between the 80s and the 90s, man, like the list is never ending with a variety of different type of action movies and different type of action stars.
Yep.
And I think that's where, and it's biased because that's where you and I grew up in, but I do think that that's where we, when they say they don't make it like they used to, it definitely falls into that line because in this day and age, again, I agree with you. I take nothing away from comic book movie, but every comic book film is the same arc. Even if they break it up into 2 movies, it's the same arc. It's good guy versus bad guy. The bad guy is going to have the advantage for about, the first to second act of the movies. And then the fucking good guys are going to come and save the day in the third act. Doesn't matter how you tell it. That's pretty much the formula to any superhero movie.
Yeah,
it's telling it from a different, different powers or different, whatever,
It's a good
but
point.
That is the formula.
Yep. No, it's a good point. I think though, at the end of the day, because people don't think this deeply, I think at the end of the day, what people mean is just, you know what? Like everybody's time was a simpler time, right? Like when Tony and I were in our 40s. We were kids growing up through the 80s, teenagers through the 90s. So when we think back to the 80s, like when I think of the 80s and being a kid, it does feel like a simpler time. However, when like my parents in the 80s when they would think back to the 50s, that felt like a simpler time. You know what I mean? Not that you'll do this, but watch a newscast, like an NBC, CBS, whatever. Watch a newscast from the 80s. You can YouTube this shit. Watch like a newscast from 1985 or whatever, right? And you'll see that it's the same shit that we're dealing with today. I mean, it's different, but there's wars going on and the president's got to do this. And then there's a G something summit. And then of course you have the AIDS thing, which of course, isn't as big today because we've got it relatively under control, but replace that today with coronavirus it's the same shit. Then the homeless population, we have a homeless problem and we got racial tensions and it's like, fuck it. I feel like you could put on a newscast from the 80s and despite the quality, if you just close your eyes, you'd think it was a newscast from today. You know what I mean?
Well,
like it's all relative.
We didn't have, the world was a lot bigger back then. Today we're inundated through technology.
We're
seeing this shit now thrown in our faces. Whereas back in the 80s, you had, like you said earlier, we had 3 to 4 TV channels.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Unless you had cable and maybe you had
and
10,
you would only
channels.
You would only get that news at 6 and 11 o'clock at night and in the newspaper the next day, right?
Now
there wasn't
just in your face.
It's in your face.
Constantly.
But it existed back then. And I think when people say they don't make them like they used to, sometimes that is true. Sometimes when you're talking about like a physical thing, like maybe like the quality of a car's engine, well, that's improved. But I mean like, maybe the quality of a bike or the quality of tires on a bicycle or the quality of a hammer or whatever it is. Sometimes it is true. They don't make them. This sucks compared to what I used to have, right? Like maybe that is actually really true in terms of the build and the quality. That's true, right? Because we live in an era now where we have to figure out how to make things cheaper, faster, and get them out, than we ever have before. Faster than we ever have before. But at the end of the day, the point I was making is at the end of the day, generally, I think when people say they don't make them like they used to, or it's not like they used to, it's a nostalgia thing. It's just like, you know what? It doesn't feel, it's so much has changed. It's not the good old days. You know what I mean? But the good old days are always changing. It's relative to who the person is. The good old days I remember when my dad came up to me before he died and he was like, what's this bird thing? This, tweet, chirp, Twitter, what the fuck is this, right? And I was like, you mean Twitter, Dad? And he was like, yeah. Well, show me his son, right? Because that's not his generation. And then 20 years from now, there'll be something. I mean, even now, like there's shit that I'm like, what the fuck? I have no idea what that is. Like I remember like 5 years ago, I was hired to do this little thing for this company and they wanted me to do it for something called Snapchat. Well, now I know what it is. I had no idea what the fuck Snapchat was. I was like, what the fuck is Snapchat? I'm like, well, tell me it's a generational thing. It's constantly evolving. Everybody's good old days is always the days of when they were younger. So the good old days is always there, but it's relative to the generation.
It's kind of funny because I envy my grandfather who's, turning 95 this year.
Yeah.
He has never spent, I know, right? He has never spent a single day, not a single day on the internet. He has never spent a second. And I'm like, dude, I envy you because you are not missing out on anything.
Yes.
I mean, you really aren't. I mean, and he's functioned. He's gone on fine, with his life. He doesn't need it. It's again, you're talking about a man who's 95 years old and, who lived in simpler times. He knows how to survive. All he needs is, running water and electricity and food on the table. That's it. And a book.
Amazing.
What I mean? And
amazing.
Just reading books and
that's awesome.
Whatever. Well, of course, because
that's the generation.
Back then, that's what they were doing. They were reading. They were more literate back then. Not saying people are illiterate today.
No. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But yeah, I envy him in that he's never, not one day on the internet.
That's amazing. That's so cool. All right, horror movie lover's been patient. He's been asking this a lot. Dave. The trailer. I love how you just say the trailer and like we know what trailer you're talking about.
Oh, I know what this is.
The trailer runtime and rating were revealed. That's a good distinction, by the way. The rating that was revealed for the Halloween Kills trailer is not the rating of the movie. It's the rating of the trailer. The movie will be R, for goodness sakes. Dave, the trailer runtime and rating here in Canada, that could be different in the States, were revealed. So it's, Dave, the trailer runtime and rating were revealed. So it's coming soon, people say. This week or next week. Any truth to this or no? Truth to the trailer being rated? Well, yes. Truth that it's coming this week or next week?
Halloween's going to be rated PG.
PG, that's right. No, it's going to be rated G.
It's going to be G.
F for family. For family.
Sorry to disappoint you.
That's right. Is the trailer coming this week or next week? I know when the trailer's coming, and somebody can.
It's never coming.
They can laugh. They can say. I'm sure there are people that would.
Dave, you're full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sure there's some people that think that, but listen, a month ago I said it wasn't coming in May, and it didn't. I said it wasn't coming in June, and we're getting to the end of June. It's not.
Tomorrow.
Well, it's coming tomorrow. It's not because I make these arbitrary claims.
That'd be funny.
That'd
be hilarious.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Me tomorrow if it did.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious.
That would be a lucky ass guess.
Yeah, I haven't made my typical kind of fun announcement about it because there's a couple of things that I'm waiting to hear, but I do have information. So what you say there at the end is, yes, you are correct. The trailer, I'll just tell you that I will try and make a social, if I can get the confirmation I need over something specific that I'm looking for, I will, I'll let you know. And listen, as you know, if you want to know my thoughts on sources and all that kind of stuff, I am not somebody that says that I do not go online and make a claim that I have a source very often, if ever. I don't do that. I do have sources I reach out to, but as I mentioned on a McRae Live about a month or so ago, most of the information you get from sources is not worthy of sharing. Okay, so if you have somebody who's constantly sharing information from a source, I call bullshit. And there's a very specific reason why I feel the way I do. Go watch that McRae Live on my channel. I talk about my father and who my father was and what I learned from him and what I learned growing up in a media family and all that kind of stuff about sources. So when I go out on a limb and put my name out there and say, I have a trusted source that has told me this, I'm not talking about the dishwasher that works at the company. I'm talking about somebody who works in a position where they would know this information. So that's why I was able to say what I said a month ago, and the trailer hasn't come yet because I was right. So now, is it coming this week or next week? I don't want to say anything yet. But I stand by what I said a month ago. So I'm still waiting on a few little things, not the overall bigger thing, just a couple little things I'm waiting on. And then I'll probably make a social media post.
It's because
I'm sure. Oh yeah, I'm sure to the rolling eyes of some people go, oh, yeah, McRae's got a source. Listen, I couldn't care less whether people believe me or not. The results will speak for themselves, or they won't. You know, I told people that you're not getting a trailer at the beginning of June, and you didn't. I told them you're not getting a trailer on the day that the Halloween that the Halloween 18 trailer dropped, and you didn't. I didn't say that because it was a guess. It's because I knew, not because I don't have Blum talking to me, but I know people in certain positions who would know information like that. Okay. Again, it's not the accounting guy in room 6 down the hall. But I can't reveal who they are, obviously, because for obvious reasons. I don't claim to know everything. Things can change. I always say that too. It is not unprecedented for things to change. This is show business. Just because a date is set here, there's a variety of different reasons why things can change. I made that clear a month ago as well. But I am not surprised in the slightest that we haven't received the trailer yet because of the information that I knew a month ago. Doesn't surprise me at all. I wasn't expecting it because of the person who told me this. So yes, it is but just know it's on the horizon, and I will do my best to give a clue, or something when I feel more confident in just this one area that I want to be confident on. I'm pretty confident, but so
it's going to come out October 31st.
It's coming out October 31st. That's right.
Yeah. 2 weeks after the movie release.
2 weeks after the movie is released. That's right. 2 weeks after the movie is released. Just know, folks, that and it doesn't mean that sources can't be wrong. It doesn't mean that people in significant positions can't be wrong. It doesn't mean that. But just know that when I make a post, which is very rare, you guys know this. How often am I making a post about a source told me something? Hardly ever. Okay. And I get a lot of info, but I only do it when I'm sure that the individual is sure. And that's when I do it. So when I do things like that, when I put my neck out there, it's not a guess. I mean, I'm not taking a guess. It's an informed, I don't want to say opinion, but it's based on informed information. That's what it is. And so no, I'm not surprised we haven't, received it yet, because it makes sense.
That's actually a good segue back to what we were just talking about a moment ago about a simpler time and growing up. And look, I get it. If you're younger than Dave and I, where you are part of the information network, where you're getting everything like this, you're getting everything instant. But for me, I haven't even thought twice about the trailer. When it comes, it comes. I'm in no rush. You know what I mean? I just whatever. And I just think that's because our upbringing was, when we grew up, trailer came when it came. You know what I mean? There was no it was just, and I've never changed that mentality of I don't need it now. I don't need all my information instantly. I get it when it comes to me.
Yeah, no, you're bang on. I before I had spoken to this person back in May, I wasn't thinking about it either. Now, before I had spoken to this person, if you had asked me, when do you think we're getting the trailer? I would have said, oh, probably in June. Because I would have thought back to 2018, and I would have been oh, it's probably good. Most people were saying, oh, it's probably going to be in around the 4th or June 10th or something like that, or whatever it was. I would have thought the same thing. And then I got information. I was like, oh, okay. And again, it's not just the information. It's who and where the information is coming from. It's about probability, right? And and this person also hasn't let me down before. So no, it doesn't. So
I think that's where we're at sometimes, and why I think we butt heads with people who are younger than us, and it's no fault to their own, and it's no fault to you and I, because half of our life, your and my life, was spent without digital media and without everything being instantly available for us. So we remember what that's like. Yeah. Whereas I get it, when these younger kids or younger adults who are now, in their 20s, they've grown up with all this. They everything to them has been instantly. So I understand that they are and I don't say product meaning you're a product, but you are a product of what you're raised in
Yep.
the society, and that's the information society and
That's
everything being at your fingertips. Whereas, Dave and I have shared this story many times on here. I didn't get to see fucking the original Halloween till 93 when Blockbuster finally came
Yep.
into town
Yep.
because of the copyright
That's
issues
right.
with the mom and pop video stores not being
Yep.
able to have. And I get it. 20-year-olds can't even think of that because they could get Halloween digitally anywhere instantly for them to watch.
It's like, and I'll be honest with you, of course I'm looking forward to seeing it, but if I knew, and of course this would never happen, but if there really was no trailer until September, I wouldn't care. Like it literally would not bother me.
2 weeks before the movie came out.
And that's not,
cool.
and that's not a reflection
fine.
of me not caring about Halloween or not wanting to see the trailer. It's a reflection of just
Who we are.
Yeah, it's just I don't.
You know what I
okay,
Right.
whatever. You know what I mean?
I
But
think
it
I
all
maybe
depends.
saw
Everybody's different.
Curse of Michael Myers trailer like once, maybe
Yeah.
twice. I saw it once before The Crow when it was actually, fun fact, I don't know if anybody knows this, but when it opened up, when the trailer was played in front of The Crow, Brandon Lee's The Crow, it was Halloween 666, the origin of Michael Myers.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep, you are correct. Movie chat
that
and
was
more.
A total shit show.
sends in £2. Says, I think Steve Miner directed Jaws 2. You are thinking incorrectly. No, Steve Miner did not direct Jaws 2. It was, I forget how, his last name is like Zwark or Zwark, Jeannot Zwark.
Didn't Steve Miner direct Jaws?
No, Movie Chat and More said, I think Steve Miner directed Jaws 2, and it wasn't.
Oh, no,
he
didn't. It was some weird
It was, Jeannot Zwark. I always get his name mixed up. Yeah, that's who. That's
the guy who took over for the other dude, right?
Yeah, John Hancock.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just thinking as a parent, like, why would you do that to your kid?
I know.
Like
Hancock.
Your last name is Hancock. You're gonna name your kid John.
John,
come on.
I know.
Poor kid.
The Spiral Sky Project sends in $5, says, young actors and film crews today are busy on checking social media and looking forward to checking their phone after they film a scene. Well, I think that's a blanket statement. I mean, maybe you're saying that because of what happened with James Mangold and Indiana Jones 5 recently. I mean, look, let's not take that and say, well, that's what everybody does. That's not what everybody does. I can tell you that's not what everybody does, because you don't have time to do that during breaks or during,
while non-disclosures too.
Yeah. But I mean, like in terms of like checking your phone, that kind of stuff, it would depend. It would depend, right? I mean, it all depends.
Like a Tarantino set, nobody can have their phone on them. Their phones have to be checked in at where the phone check place.
That's true.
Nobody can have their phone on
That's
set.
a good idea. Yep. I support that. The Spiral Sky Project sends in $10, says before social. Oh, I already.
Did you get that?
Maybe this is another one. Before social media and internet, actors and film crews used to only focus on the scenes and the acting because phones didn't exist for them to look forward to it. Before social media and internet, actors and film crews used to really only focus the scenes and the acting because phones didn't exist for them to look forward to it. I'm not quite sure I understand what you're saying. Before
I'm trying to read it too. Before social media
and internet,
actors
and film
crews used to really only focus. I'm assuming he meant to say focus on the scenes and the acting
because phones didn't exist.
Which isn't true because cell phones did exist in the 90s and
but
the 80s.
They
weren't like what they were today.
I'm just trying to understand the correlation between modern cell phones and actors and film crews not doing their jobs or not doing the jobs.
Well, like, I mean, I don't know if he's like implying because like sometimes in the blooper reels, you'll see like someone forgot to turn their phone off and their phone goes off during a scene and it, disrupts.
Yeah.
The
but
scene.
Again, I mean, I think it's just a blank. I understand what you're saying, I think, but I think it's a bit of a blanket statement. I think it's too general. There are a lot of film sets where that would not happen or situations where that wouldn't happen. I mean, No, It's Me, Billy's not a Hollywood film, but it was a professional film shoot and our actors didn't have their cell phones on them. And it's not like, when we would say cut, they'd take out their phone and they said, no, they'd leave their phones in their bags in their rooms. You know what I mean? Now the crew would not be on their phones when they're doing their jobs and they're trying to set up because money is time. Time is money. You can't be waiting around, dicking around on your phone when you're supposed to be working. Now, if there's downtime at lunch, or if you've set everything up and the actor and the director are going over a scene, you might have some time to pull out your phone and check a text message or something like that. But I wouldn't say that it's I wouldn't say that it's hindered the filmmaking process or made it more difficult or lazy for actors and crew. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, if I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah. The Spiral Sky Project follows up with $2, says, movies stop feeling natural after the internet. You have to define what natural means. Do you mean performance? Do you mean aesthetic, technology?
I don't agree with that entirely, because there's some, like, for example, Unfriended, one of the...
I'm not sure what he means by that.
It utilized the internet, and like I was blown away how much I enjoyed Unfriended. I think I sort of get what he's saying, but I don't think that's entirely true. I think because I don't want to shit on, the last 20 years because there's been great films with the internet, you know what I mean? Enjoyable films. I think filmmaking comes back to the very simple principles of telling a good story. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Yes. Dave did a 47-minute fan film, and why is it good? Why is it getting good reviews? Not because he used an RE camera or a drone, whatever drone your boy used. It's because he told a good story. That's all it comes. You can make a good film using your phone if you tell a good story. You don't need to have all the bells and whistles. Now, yes, if you want to polish it up to make it look nice and presentable, yeah, you want to have the bells and whistles. But ultimately, it's storytelling 101. That's it. It goes back to that. Yeah.
Fuck.
I just unlike what they did in Conjuring 3. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Movie say that out loud?
Movie Chat and More just says,
I can't wait till we talk about that movie.
Oh boy. Movie Chat and More says, just a joke, Dave, the timeline crap. I see what you're saying. I get it, because we were talking about how it was Friday the 13th and the kids, and you were saying that Steve Miner directed. I get it now. Okay. I didn't know if you were joking, because you can't. Sometimes it's hard to tell in text. Not sure. All right, listen, folks. We got to skedaddle. This is going to do it because Tony's got a big day tomorrow, so we got to skedaddle. That's going to do it for Tony and I here on episode 114 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. Thank you to our moderators, Frank Riker, Tabitha Short, Darren Sands, and Chris Baber.
Was Frank here tonight?
He was here tonight. Yeah, I saw Darren earlier. Darren's probably, of course, in bed now, fast asleep, being that it's like 3 a.m. over there. Maybe not quite that late.
I haven't seen Frank in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I know Frank was in there. I saw him earlier. And Tabitha's right there. Or she was in here earlier as well. Folks, thank you so much to the Super Chat questions that came in, the non-Super Chat questions that came in. You guys are amazing. Tony and I will be back next Monday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a It's Me Billy patron. Not It's Me Billy patron. It's Me Billy Indiegogo guest, which is Reese Wilson. He will be watching a movie, which I'll let you guys know soon. But that'll be next Monday night at 7 o'clock. Make sure you tune into that. That's going to be a lot of fun. So it's going to be 3 dudes and some bullshit next Monday. Tony, any last things you want to say here before we skedaddle?
No, good shit. Enjoyed watching Jaws 2 with everybody tonight.
Yeah, it was great. A lot of fun. Have a great rest of your night, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other, as Jerry Springer would say. And we will talk to you guys soon. Cheers.